Chapter 1500. At this moment, Lu Yu finally realized that the rumors were true. The relationship between Elder Hui and Elder Bai Li was indeed not ordinary. Elder Hui, I'll take my leave first. Since he had brought Duan Lingtian in, Lu Yu naturally took his leave tactfully. All right. Dong Hui merely nodded his head nonchalantly in the face of Lu Yu. Lu Yu then bade farewell to Duan Lingtian. Thank you for leading the way, senior brother Lu Yu. After thanking him, Duan Lingtian watched Lu Yu leave before he looked at Dong Hui and cupped his hands together. Duan Lingtian greets Elder Hui. Why? Are you not happy that I called you junior brother? Do you think I'm not worthy to be your senior brother? Dong Hui asked with a straight face when he heard Duan Lingtian greeting him. Senior brother Hui. Duan Lingtian smiled wryly. Although he could see that Dong Hui was purposely putting on a straight face, he could only go along with it. At the same time, he also realized that the relationship between Dong Hui and his senior brother was much closer than he had imagined. That's right. A bright smile appeared on Dong Hui's face when he heard Duan Lingtian changing the way he addressed him. He is? Soon after, Dong Hui's gaze shifted to Ouyang Qing, who had been thrown aside by Duan Lingtian earlier. He could faintly guess that this fellow must have something to do with Duan Lingtian coming to look for him. He's Ouyang clan's eldest young master, Ouyang Qing. Duan Lingtian glanced at Ouyang Qing nonchalantly and said, Ouyang clan? The Ouyang clan in the east city of Han River City? Dong Hui raised his brow and asked, Yes, it's that Ouyang clan. Duan Lingtian nodded. Why? Did he offend you, junior brother Duan? Dong Hui asked. It's fine if he only offended me. The problem is, he joined forces with a Perfection Saint Rudiment stage elder from the Ouyang clan to kill me. When Duan Lingtian reached the end of his sentence, his eyes gleamed fiercely. What? Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Dong Hui's expression changed. When he looked at Ouyang Qing again, his eyes were filled with killing intent. In his heart, he had long regarded Bai Li Hong as his teacher in the Saint Inscription Tao. When he found out that Bai Li Hong had acknowledged a young man as his junior brother, although he had yet to meet the young man, he still treated the young man as his junior brother. He had imagined many situations when he would meet this junior brother of his, but never would he have thought that when they really met, it would be in such a situation. If something happened to Duan Lingtian in Han River City, how could he face senior brother Bai Li Hong? Therefore, Dong Hui was enraged, thoroughly enraged. Sensing Dong Hui's killing intent, Ouyang Qing's body trembled in fear. Terrified to the extreme, he said to Duan Lingtian in a panic, Duan Lingtian, you said you wouldn't kill me. You said you wouldn't kill me. You can't go back on your words. Huh. When Dong Hui heard Ouyang Qing's words, he could not help but frown as he looked at Duan Lingtian in confusion. He could not figure it out. Why was Duan Lingtian so lenient to someone who wanted to kill him? What I said is final. Why are you panicking? Duan Lingtian snorted coldly, scaring Ouyang Qing so much that he immediately shut his mouth. However, there's a condition when I said I wouldn't kill you. The condition is that you'll cooperate with me obediently and won't play any tricks. Duan Lingtian said nonchalantly, I'll definitely cooperate with you. I won't play any tricks. Ouyang Qing quickly said as though he was afraid Duan Lingtian would regret it if he was too slow. Speak. Who's the old man who came with you to kill me? With his ability, he must be an elder of the Ouyang clan. I'm sure of that. Duan Lingtian asked as he glanced at Ouyang Qing. His name is Ouyang Shan, and he's the second elder of our Ouyang clan. Ouyang Qing did not dare to hesitate and immediately said, Did he come under your father's orders, or was he instigated by you? Duan Lingtian asked again. It wasn't my father's orders. Ouyang Qing shook his head. Then, you're the one who instigated him? Duan Lingtian asked in a deep voice as a cold gleam flashed across his eyes. No. Ouyang Qing was so frightened that he immediately shook his head when he saw the cold gleam that flashed across Duan Lingtian's eyes. I didn't instigate him. It's him. He heard about you and knew that you have a saint weapon inscribed with 3-star saint inscriptions. He wanted to kill you and steal your treasure. Ouyang Qing pushed all the blame onto Ouyang Shan, who was already dead. If Ouyang Shan, who was on the Yellow Springs path, heard Ouyang Qing's words, who knew if he would be so infuriated that he would vomit 3 liters of blood, or be so infuriated that he would remain silent. He might even regret agreeing to Ouyang Qing's request to attack Duanling Tian. Naturally, Duanling Tian did not believe Ouyang Qing's words. However, all of this was not important to him anymore. Your Ouyang clan is really bold. Dong Hui, who was standing at the side, was enraged when he heard Ouyang Qing's words. How dare you think of killing our Moon Illumination sect's disciple? It seems like your Ouyang clan has been living a peaceful life for too long. Do you really think that Han River City will be turned upside down without your Ouyang clan? Junior brother Duan, you promised not to kill him, but as your senior brother, I didn't. In my opinion, since he's from the Ouyang clan, and the Ouyang clan dares to offend our Moon Illumination sect, there's no need to keep him alive. Although Dong Hui wanted to kill Ouyang Qing with a slap, he respected Duanling Tian and did not attack him directly. No, you can't kill me. Before Duanling Tian could speak, Ouyang Qing panicked. That was right. Duanling Tian said that he would not kill him, but he did not say that others would not kill him as well. Duanling Tian, you promised not to kill me. Naturally, you can't watch others kill me. This has nothing to do with me. It really has nothing to do with me. It's all because of Ouyang Shan. Yes, it's Ouyang Shan. He was the one who coveted your saint artifact. He wanted to kill you and seize your saint artifact. Ouyang Qing's face was pale as he tried his best to defend himself. After glancing at Ouyang Qing with disgust, Duanling Tian did not look at him anymore. Instead, he looked at Dong Hui. Senior brother Hui, it doesn't matter to me whether he lives or not. However, I'd like to ask you one thing, senior brother Hui. Can I uproot the entire Ouyang clan just because of this? Duanling Tian asked seriously when he reached the end of his sentence. Dong Hui fell silent when he heard that. After a while, he shook his head. I'm afraid you can't do that. Even if the sect is willing to help you, the most you can do is to make the people who are related to this pay a price. It's impossible to destroy the Ouyang clan. After all, the Ouyang clan is one of the best among the 8th-rate clans in Han River City. They have a partnership with the 9 sect alliances as well. Destroying the Ouyang clan will definitely cause the other 8 great sects to suffer a great loss. They won't agree to it. Dong Hui said. I guessed it would be the same as well. Duanling Tian smiled and said, So, I don't plan to take his life. I plan to use him in this matter to make a deal with the Ouyang clan. Duanling Tian emphasized the word, deal. Dong Hui was stunned. After a while, he realized what Duanling Tian meant by deal. There was no doubt that he wanted to extort a sum from the Ouyang clan. That's easy to handle. Dong Hui nodded and said apologetically, Junior brother Duan, I'm really sorry that I couldn't avenge you. In his opinion, he would not be able to answer to Duanling Tian if he could not destroy the Ouyang clan. He would not be able to answer to Bai Li Hong, who was behind Duanling Tian. Therefore, his heart was filled with apologies. Senior brother Hui, how can you say that you didn't avenge me? I'll have to leave the negotiation with the Ouyang clan to you. Duanling Tian smiled. Don't worry, junior brother Duan. I'll definitely handle this matter properly. Dong Hui said solemnly. The next morning, in the Ouyang clan's mansion, the clan leader, Ouyang Ba, was furious. What? You didn't find that unfilial son? Ouyang Ba looked at Ouyang Ji and asked solemnly, Did you hide him for the sake of the second elder? Clan leader, I wouldn't dare to go against you even if I had 10 more guts. Ouyang Ji was shocked when he heard Ouyang Ba's words. He smiled bitterly. Ouyang Ba's expression softened when he heard that. He was only testing Ouyang Ji earlier. He was not worried about this steward because Ouyang Ji had never disobeyed his orders. Father, what do we do now? Are we still going? Ouyang Ruo, who was beside Ouyang Ba, asked. Yes, of course we're going. Ouyang Ba gritted his teeth and said, That unfilial son. I'll skin him alive when I see him later. Just as Ouyang Ba was about to bring Ouyang Ruo and the big gift, he had prepared to the inn where Duanling Tian was staying to apologize to Duanling Tian. An anxious and panicked voice came from afar. Clan leader, this is bad. This is bad. The person who came was one of the Ouyang clan's guards. To be more precise, It was the Ouyang clan's guard at the entrance. "What's the matter? Why are you so anxious?" Ouyang Ba was already in a fit of anger. When the guard made such a fuss, it was like adding oil to the fire. His tone was not pleasant at all. "Clan leader, it's the first young master. The first young master is—" The guard's body trembled. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Ouyang Ba again. "What did you say? That unfilial son? You have news about that unfilial son? Where is he?" As soon as he finished speaking, Ouyang Ba appeared in front of the guard like a gust of wind and asked with a solemn face. The Ouyang clan's guard felt like he was suffocating when he saw the clan leader who was usually high and mighty appearing in front of him, so close to him. Ouyang Ba's imperious aura gave him a great pressure. "Clan leader, I think it's better to let him speak properly." At this moment, Ouyang Ji stepped forward and spoke to Ouyang Ba. He then asked the guard to take a few steps back. "If you have anything to say, just say it. Don't panic." "Yes, yes." Chapter 1501. The words of the family guard who had barged in rashly shocked Ouyang Ba, Ouyang Ji, and Ouyang Nua. The Nine Sect Alliance's headquarters? Detained Ouyang Qing? "Brother, what have you done? How did you offend the Nine Sect Alliances?" Ouyang Rua's heart skipped a beat. At the same time, she stole a glance at Ouyang Ba, only to realize that her father was also shocked and had not recovered from his shock for a long time. "Are you sure he's from the Nine Sect Alliances?" Ouyang Ji secretly gasped and asked the family guard in front of him in a deep voice. "That's what he said," the family guard replied. Upon hearing this, Ouyang Ji vaguely realized that this matter must be true. In the Nine Sect Alliance's territory, nobody dared to pretend to be from the Nine Sect Alliance's territory. Moreover, they did it in the Ouyang clan. Clan leader, taking a deep breath, Ouyang Ji looked at Ouyang Ba. He could understand Ouyang Ba's current feelings. Be *****. Be *****. Finally, Ouyang Ba regained his senses. His face instantly turned extremely ugly. He had never thought that his son would offend a young genius who was suspected to be from a 7th-rated force, and now he had offended the Nine Sect Alliances. The Nine Sect Alliances was an alliance formed by the 9 great 7th-rated forces. Moreover, their Ouyang clan's businesses in Han River City were almost entirely dependent on the Nine Sect Alliances. As long as the Nine Sect Alliances gave an order, their Ouyang clan would be removed from the Han River City's business world immediately. Without any hesitation, Ouyang Ba did not even have the time to greet the others. With a flash, he disappeared from where he was and went directly to the Nine Sect Alliances. At this moment, he had also forgotten about Duan Lingtian. To him, the Nine Sect Alliances matter was the most important matter at the moment. This time, even if the eldest young master comes back, I'm afraid he won't have a good time. Ouyang Ji sighed. Upon hearing this, Ouyang Rua's eyes were filled with worry. She was worried about her brother, Ouyang Qing. On the way to the Nine Sect Alliance's headquarters, Ouyang Ba had thought of many scenarios when he arrived at the Nine Sect Alliance's headquarters. He was already prepared to clean up his useless son's mess. However, when he learned about the trouble his son had caused, he almost fainted. "Elder Hui, is there a misunderstanding? With my understanding of that unfilial son of mine, even if he was given 100 guts, it's not very likely that he would have any devious thoughts towards that genius disciple of your esteemed sect." When Ouyang Ba heard from Dong Hui that his son had gotten into trouble, his first reaction was disbelief. Although his son was a spoiled brat, he was not a brainless idiot. Of this, he was very sure. "What? Does Ouyang family head think that I am slandering your son?" Dong Hui asked calmly. "I don't dare." Although he had this thought in his mind, Ouyang Ba naturally did not dare to say it out loud. "I just think it's quite impossible. Although my unfilial son is mischievous, he would never dare to provoke that genius disciple of your esteemed sect, Duan Lingtian. Ouyang family head, it seems that you have really underestimated your son." Dong Hui took a deep look at Ouyang Ba before speaking to the inner room. "Junior brother Duan, bring him out for a face-to-face confrontation. Let the Ouyang clan's clan leader know that the people from our Moon Illumination sect won't stoop to slandering the Ouyang clan." When Dong Hui spoke, Ouyang Ba also looked in the direction of the inner room. When he saw the figure walking out of the inner room, he was completely dumbfounded. Be little brother Duan? This was because he knew the purple-clad young man in front of him. They had just met yesterday, and he was even planning to apologize to him at the inn he was staying at this morning. However, since his son had offended the people from the 9 sect alliances, he could only come over to clean up his son's mess. When he heard that his son actually wanted to kill Duan Lingtian from the Moon Illumination sect, he was even more terrified. At that moment, his heart felt as though it was about to jump out of his chest. Duan Lingtian. Naturally, he was no stranger to this name. He was an outstanding outer court disciple of the Moon Illumination sect who was ranked 66th on the Earth rankings. Apart from that, he was also the junior brother acknowledged by Elder Bai Li Hong of the Moon Illumination sect. Bai Li Hong was a well-known figure in the 9 sect alliances district. He was one of the only 2 3-star Saint Inscription Masters in the 9 sect alliances district. His position was so special that even the sect leaders of the 9 great 7th-rate sects had to treat him with respect. He was a figure that even he had to look up to. If such a figure acknowledged a junior brother, even he would have to be humble if he met him. Yet, his son actually wanted to kill him? He could not believe it. Hermph, who do you think my junior brother Duan is? How dare you call him your brother? Dong Hui snorted coldly. Immediately, Ouyang Ba changed his words. When he looked at Duan Lingtian again, there was a hint of respect in his eyes. The clan leader of the Ouyang clan in Han River City, Ouyang Ba, greets young Master Duan. I was unaware of young Master Duan's identity yesterday and neglected you. Please forgive me, young Master Duan. At this moment, Ouyang Ba's heart was in turmoil. It had never crossed his mind that the young genius who was suspected to be from a 7th-rate force who had saved his daughter in the Juku mountain range was actually Duan Lingtian from the Moon Illumination sect, the monstrous genius who had become famous in the entire 9 sect alliances district in recent months. At this moment, he was already scolding his daughter for being stupid in his heart. If it was not for the fact that she had offended Duan Lingtian in the Juku mountain range, their Ouyang clan might have been able to establish a connection with Duan Lingtian. With Duan Lingtian's innate talent and Bai Li Hong's support, it was not impossible for him to become the sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect in the future. Clan leader Ouyang, you look good. Looks like you must have had a good sleep last night. Duan Lingtian casually tossed Ouyang Qing to the ground as if he was throwing away trash. He looked at Ouyang Ba and said calmly. At this moment, not only was Duan Lingtian's tone calm, but his face was also calm. One could not tell if he was happy or angry. Ouyang Qing had just been carried out by Duan Lingtian. When he saw Ouyang Ba, he had already called out to him through true energy voice transmission. Father, save me. Save me. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Father, I'm your only son. You can't give up on me. However, in the face of his call for help, Ouyang Ba only glared at him fiercely and ignored him. From the beginning until the end, Ouyang Ba's attention had been on Duan Lingtian. This was because he knew that Duan Lingtian was the key to this matter. Only by calming down Duan Lingtian's rage would there be a way to resolve this matter. At this moment, he already believed that his son wanted to kill Duan Lingtian. Naturally, he also knew that his son had done such a stupid thing because he did not know Duan Lingtian's background. After all, before this, they only knew that the purple-clad young man in front of them had the surname Duan. They did not know that he was the Duan Lingtian who had been spreading like wildfire in the 9 sect alliances district recently. He believed that if Duan Lingtian had told him who he was yesterday, his son would definitely not have gotten into a conflict with him. At this moment, he could not help but resent Duan Lingtian in his heart. Was he not pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger? Of course, although he resented him in his heart, he did not dare to voice it out. It's all right. When he heard Duan Lingtian say that he slept well last night, Ouyang Ba responded by instinct. Clan leader Ouyang, you slept well, but I didn't sleep at all last night. All of this is thanks to your Ouyang clan's eldest young master and second elder. Duan Lingtian glanced at Ouyang Ba indifferently and said, Second elder? When he heard Duan Lingtian's words, Ouyang Ba's expression changed drastically. He glared at Ouyang Qing immediately. Unfilial son. You actually dragged the second elder into this matter as well? At this moment, Oyangba finally realized that things were more complicated than he had imagined. If it was only his son, with his son's ability, he might not be able to kill Duan Lingtian even if he wanted to. However, now that the matter was related to their Ouyang clan's second elder, Ouyang Shan, he finally realized the seriousness of the matter. Father, I only told Ouyang Shan about Duan Ling, young Master Duan, who knew that he actually coveted the saint weapon inscribed with the 3-star saint inscription in young Master Duan's hand, and wanted to kill young Master Duan. Now, when Ouyang Qing mentioned Duan Lingtian, he cleverly changed the way he addressed him. As for his grandfather Shan, he was also calling him by his name. Fortunately, young Master Duan is blessed by God and has the 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. Otherwise, he would have definitely died in Ouyang Shan's hands. Ouyang Ba said to Ouyang Ba. Ouyang Qing said to Ouyang Ba. Anger was written all over his face, as though he was really worried about Duan Lingtian. Naturally, Ouyang Ba knew about his son's background. He would not believe what Ouyang Qing said even if he was beaten to death. This was because their Ouyang clan's second elder was definitely not someone who would take such a risk. Although Duan Lingtian did not reveal his identity earlier, they were almost certain that he was from a 7th-rated force. As it turned out, their guess was right. Duan Lingtian was indeed from a 7th-rated force. Moreover, his position in that 7th-rated force was extraordinary. Naturally, under such circumstances, Ouyang Ba would not deny Ouyang Qing's words. After all, Ouyang Qing was his son. No matter how much of a bastard his son was, he would not watch him die here. Where's second elder now? Ouyang Ba asked Ouyang Qing through true energy voice transmission. In his opinion, even if their Ouyang clan's second elder, Ouyang Shan, was no match for the 3-star offensive Dao Talisman, he should be able to survive. Father, grandfather Shan is dead. He was killed by Duan Lingtian's 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. At that critical moment, grandfather Shan didn't seem to realize that the talisman that Duan Lingtian threw out was a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. Ouyang Qing replied through true energy voice transmission. He sounded like he was about to cry. That's right. How did Duan Lingtian get his hands on a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman? Even in the 9-sect alliances district, only the Profound Talisman sect and the Mountain Shade Black Market have 3-star offensive Dao Talismans. Their 3-star offensive Dao Talismans are almost never given to outsiders. At this moment, Ouyang Ba finally regained his senses and realized this. Chapter 1502. It was no wonder Dong Hui would think that way. In the Moon Illumination sect, even the few saint stage powerhouses, including the sect leader, might not be able to take out a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. As a 3-star saint inscription master, Bai Li Hong might have other ways to get a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. Young Master Duan, this matter is indeed our Ouyang clan's fault. Even I, the patriarch of the Ouyang clan, didn't expect that Ouyang Shan would be so daring. He actually dared to covet young Master Duan and even tried to kill you. Ouyang Ba looked at Duan Lingtian and said apologetically. When he reached the end of his sentence, he pretended to rejoice. Fortunately, young Master Duan is blessed by God, and Ouyang Shan has been killed as well. It's a happy ending for everyone. A happy ending for everyone? Duan Lingtian smirked and looked at Ouyang Ba meaningfully, causing Ouyang Ba to feel guilty. However, no matter what, Ouyang Shan is still our Ouyang clan's second elder. Although he's dead, our Ouyang clan still has to bear the main responsibility for this matter. Although our Ouyang clan can't take out a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman, we're willing to take out other things as compensation. Besides, we're willing to pay more to help you get over your shock, young Master Duan. As the current clan leader of Ouyang clan, Ouyang Ba was, naturally, a shrewd person. When he saw that his son was alive and well, he could vaguely guess Duan Lingtian and Dong Hui's intention. They wanted to extort a sum of money from the Ouyang clan and make them bleed. Therefore, before Duan Lingtian could speak, he took the initiative to bring it up. As for Ouyang Qing, he did not say anything more because he knew there was no need to do so now. Clan leader Ouyang is a straightforward person indeed. Since clan leader Ouyang is so straightforward, it's only natural that I won't keep harping on this matter. You can take Ouyang Qing away. However, I hope clan leader Ouyang can show some sincerity in certain matters. Otherwise, this matter might not end just like that. Although Duan Lingtian was surprised by Ouyang Ba's tact, he did not plan to harp on this matter since he had achieved his goal. However, he still warned Ouyang Ba. What he meant was, he did not want Ouyang Ba to brush him off with some deceptive things. Definitely. Hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Ouyang Ba broke out in a cold sweat. He really did have the thought of giving Duan Lingtian something not too valuable. But now, it seemed that it was impossible. He could not afford to offend Duan Lingtian, nor could he afford to offend the entire Ouyang family behind him. 3 days later, senior brother Hui and I will pay you a visit. At that time, I hope clan leader Ouyang can prepare your sincerity. Personally, I'm also very interested in things that ordinary people can't recognize. Duan Lingtian looked deeply at Ouyang Ba and said, as for the last sentence, it was for the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. Perhaps there were some unknown materials in the Ouyang family's collection that were needed to repair the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. Although the 3rd level of the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda had been repaired, Duan Lingtian was not satisfied at all. The 7 treasures exquisite pagoda had a total of 7 levels. Even if the 3rd level was repaired, it was not even half of the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. Don't worry, young Master Duan. I'll definitely satisfy you. Although his heart was bleeding, Ouyang Ba still forced a smile in response to Duan Lingtian. After bidding farewell to Duan Lingtian and Dong Hui, he left with Ouyang Qing. When they were leaving, Ouyang Qing, who had just survived a disaster, had excitement in his eyes. He followed behind Ouyang Ba obediently without saying a word. At the end of the day, he was the one who caused this disaster, and he was very guilty. Father, scold me if you want. After leaving the 9 Sect Alliance's headquarters, Ouyang Qing was not used to Ouyang Ba's silence. I want to know the truth of the matter. Ouyang Ba opened his mouth, but he did not have the intention to scold Ouyang Qing. His tone was terrifyingly calm. When Ouyang Qing heard this, he did not dare to hide the truth. He told the whole story in detail. When he mentioned that Ouyang Shan was killed, he noticed that his father's body trembled slightly. He quickly added, I'm the one who killed Grandpa Shan. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. Since you know that it's your fault, it means that you're not hopeless yet. The second elder was killed because of you this time. Not only you, even I feel guilty toward him. Ouyang Ba said nonchalantly, Yes, I feel guilty toward Grandpa Shan. Ouyang Qing nodded immediately, not daring to refute. After we go back this time, I plan to send you to the Nether Ridge. Ouyang Ba's eyes flashed. The last trace of hesitation in his eyes disappeared and was replaced by determination. Nether Ridge? Upon hearing Ouyang Ba's words, Ouyang Qing, who appeared to be very obedient, had a change of expression in an instant. He roared, No, Father, I'm not going to the Nether Ridge. Father, you can't do this. I'm your only son. Ouyang Ba's face was cold when he heard Ouyang Qing's words. Only son? Perhaps he was in the past. Some time ago, his concubine outside gave birth to an illegitimate son for him. In the entire Ouyang clan, only he and his confidants knew about this. The reason he did not spread the news was that he was worried that Ouyang Qing would harm his son. Due to Ouyang Qing's existence, the entire Ouyang clan would reject his illegitimate son. Although he was happy when the illegitimate son was born, he had never thought of bringing him into the Ouyang clan. He was determined to pass the Ouyang clan to Ouyang Qing. However, Ouyang Qing's performance this time had disappointed him. As a result, he made the decision to send Ouyang Qing to the Nether Ridge. If Ouyang Qing never returned, he could only say that he was unlucky. At that time, he would bring his illegitimate son back to the Ouyang clan and train him to be his successor. Father, I'll die. Since ancient times, none of the people from the Ouyang clan who entered the Nether Ridge came out alive. Ouyang Qing kept roaring as if he would rather die than go to the Nether Ridge. You're wrong. Someone from the Ouyang clan came out alive from the Nether Ridge. Ouyang Ba said nonchalantly, but that was tens of thousands of years ago. Moreover, he's the only exception in the Ouyang clan. In the past tens of thousands of years, There were at least 8,000 people from the Ouyang clan who went to the Nether Ridge, but none of them came out alive. Ouyang Qing's face was filled with terror. The moment his words left his mouth, he glanced at Ouyang Ba vigilantly. His body moved, and he wanted to escape. However, how could he escape from Ouyang Ba's hands? Ouyang Ba stopped Ouyang Qing effortlessly. I've already decided on this matter. You don't have to be too negative. The elder from our Ouyang clan, who came out of the Nether Ridge tens of thousands of years ago, is the same as you. He's also a direct descendant of our Ouyang clan. Therefore, your hope is still very high. After all, the place in the Nether Ridge is said to be related to the first clan leader of the Ouyang clan. Perhaps he'll favor a lineal disciple like you more. Ouyang Ba said. Moreover, if you can walk out of there in time, let alone that Duan Lingtian, even the Moon Illumination sect and the entire 9-sect alliances won't be in your eyes. When the senior in our Ouyang clan was at his peak, even the Saint Stage powerhouses from 6th-rated forces were no match for him. If it wasn't for the fact that he had offended a big shot from a 5th-rated force, he wouldn't have died, and our Ouyang clan wouldn't have collapsed from this setback. Ouyang Ba's face was filled with excitement when he began to speak. However, he could not help but sigh when he reached the end. Qing, I really think that you'll be the second lineal disciple of the Ouyang clan to come out of the Nether Ridge. Ouyang Ba said to Ouyang Qing. Father, don't think that I don't know that most of the Ouyang clan's disciples who entered the Nether Ridge were lineal disciples, but what happened to them? Their soul pearls shattered in less than 3 months after they entered. Ouyang Qing said with fear in his eyes. Ouyang Qing exclaimed in horror. His body struggled continuously, trying to break free from Ouyang Ba's restraints. In the end, Ouyang Ba could only knock him out. Qing, don't blame me. You can only blame yourself for the huge trouble you've caused this time. I'm not the only one who won't believe what you said at the 9-sect alliance's headquarters. Even the elders in the clan won't believe it. I must give them an explanation for this matter. Ouyang Ba sighed when he reached the end of his mumbling. Although he could let Ouyang Qing go, he did not doubt that he would be dismissed by the elders in the clan as soon as Ouyang Qing left. There was a rule in the Ouyang clan. Once the clan leader made a huge mistake, his lineage's privilege to inherit the clan leader's position would be taken away. In the Ouyang clan, there were many elders who were lineal disciples like him, but did not come from the same lineage. They were waiting for him to make a mistake so that they could dismiss him and let their lineage have the priority to inherit the clan leader's position. In order to protect his lineage's privilege, Ouyang Ba had made up his mind and made such a choice. Such a choice not only made the elders speechless, but it also gave his son, Ouyang Qing, a glimmer of hope. Although the hope was very slim, and even he did not think that Ouyang Qing would survive, at least it was better than dying in the 9-sect alliance's headquarters. The Nether Ridge. When Ouyang Ba thought about the perilous place that was passed down in the Ouyang clan since ancient times, his heart could not help but tremble. The Nether Ridge was rumored to be related to their Ouyang clan's ancestors. All along, there had been a legend in the Ouyang clan that said any Ouyang clan's disciple who could walk out of the Nether Ridge would definitely become a top powerhouse. In the beginning, because no Ouyang clan's disciple could walk out of that place alive, nobody believed in the legend anymore. Chapter 1503. Duan Lingtian came to Han River City for 2 purposes. Firstly, to buy an inscription pin. Secondly, to look for the materials needed to repair the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda. He had already bought the inscription pin. What he needed to do next was to look for the materials needed to repair the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda. When he first came to Han River City, he was all alone. Now that he had arrived at the 9-sect alliance's headquarters and the Moon Illumination sect's base in the 9-sect alliance's headquarters, he had also received Dong Hui's help. With Dong Hui's help, he had collected many materials needed to repair the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda. Of course, there were not many high-grade materials among these materials. However, there was a pleasant surprise in the Ouyang clan. With Hua Lao's reminder, the materials that Duan Lingtian had collected in the Ouyang clan to repair the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda were much better than the materials he had collected in Han River City for the past few days. Thank you, clan leader Ouyang. Before leaving the Ouyang clan, Duan Lingtian thanked Oyingba with a smile. Although Oyingba's heart was bleeding and he hated Duan Lingtian, he did not show it. He did not dare to show it. He could only reply with a smile, "As long as you don't mind, young Master Duan." "I don't mind. Of course, I don't mind." Duan Lingtian shook his head. "If there's a chance next time, I'll definitely visit you in the Ouyang clan again, clan leader Ouyang." Duan Lingtian's words scared Oyingba so much that his heart trembled. Next time? Just this time, the group of Ouyang clan's elders already had a strong opinion of him. If he were to do it again, those old fellows would definitely skin him alive. However, when Oyingba thought about how he had already sent away his troublemaker son, he sighed in relief. "Farewell, clan leader Ouyang." When Duan Lingtian saw the fake smile on Oyingba's face, he was delighted as well. After greeting him nonchalantly, he left the Ouyang clan with Dong Hui. Oyangba, the clan leader of Ouyang clan, personally sent the two of them to the gate. The Ouyang clan steward, Ouyang Ji, and the second young miss of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang Ruo, accompanied him to send off Duan Lingtian and Duan Lingtian. He's actually a Duan Lingtian. How could he be a Duan Lingtian? Even though a few days had passed, Ouyang Ruo still found it hard to believe that the person who saved her in the Juku mountain range back then was actually the Moon Illumination sect's disciple, Duan Lingtian, whose name had spread like wildfire in the 9-sect alliance's district recently. However, when Ouyang Ruo recalled that her brother was sent to the Nether Ridge because of Duan Lingtian, her face turned cold right away. Her eyes were filled with cold hatred. "Duan Lingtian, it's all because of you. If it wasn't for you, my brother wouldn't have been sent to the Nether Ridge." Those who entered the Nether Ridge had a slim chance of survival. Ouyang Ruo also didn't think that Ouyang Qing could walk out of there alive. Ouyang Ruo really wanted to avenge her brother. However, when she thought about Duan Lingtian's innate talent, strength, and background, she felt a wave of helplessness in her heart. She couldn't summon any thoughts of revenge at all, so she could only bury the hatred deep in her heart. "Junior brother Duan, it's rare for you to come to Han River City. Why don't you stay for a while longer?" On the way back to the 9-sect alliance's headquarters after leaving the Ouyang clan, Dong Hui immediately urged Duan Lingtian to stay when he heard that he would be returning to the Moon Illumination sect in a few days. "It's only a few days, and I haven't had the time to show my hospitality as your senior brother. If senior brother Bai Li finds out that I've neglected you, he definitely won't be happy," Dong Hui told Duan Lingtian. "Senior brother Hui, I'm not leaving now. Besides, I still have something to do when I return to the sect in a few days, so I won't be able to stay in Han River City for too long." Duan Lingtian smiled. "When your shift is over and you return to the sect, we'll have a good gathering again. Since you insist, junior brother, then I won't say anything else. However, I'll have to arrange your schedule for the next few days. Let me be the host for the next few days." Dong Hui said. "Yes, senior brother Hui." Duan Lingtian agreed right away. It was all thanks to Dong Hui's help these few days. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to find so many materials. As soon as Duan Lingtian returned to the Moon Illumination sect's stronghold in the 9-sect alliance's headquarters, he heard Dong Hui calling out to him before he even had the chance to sit down. "Senior brother Hui, why are you looking for me in such a hurry?" He had just parted ways with Dong Hui not long ago, and he did not expect Dong Hui to come looking for him again. "Junior brother Duan, I shouldn't have disturbed your rest, but according to the rules of the 9-sect alliance's Earth ranking, I have to." Dong Hui smiled wryly. "Earth ranking? Don't tell me someone wants to challenge me?" Duan Lingtian raised his brow and asked. He could not think of anything else other than this. "That's right." Dong Hui nodded. "I heard it from someone else as well. That person came early this morning, but we just happened to go to the Ouyang clan. Now that he heard you're back, he's already waiting outside our Moon Illumination sect stronghold. Now, many people from the other 8 great sects are waiting for you to accept his challenge as well. They more or less want to see you, the young genius who has become famous in the 9-sect alliance's district." Dong Hui said. "Since he's already here, I'll go and meet him." Duan Lingtian responded and left the Moon Illumination sect's stronghold with Dong Hui, arriving outside the Moon Illumination sect stronghold. When they arrived outside the Moon Illumination sect stronghold, Duan Lingtian was taken aback when he saw the black mass of people in the surroundings. Outside the Moon Illumination sect stronghold, the black mass of people was surrounding an empty space like stars surrounding the moon. A middle-aged man in ordinary clothes stood in the middle of the empty space. The middle-aged man's face was covered in stubble, and he looked very sloppy. However, his eyes were brimming with vigor, giving off a threatening aura. Duan Lingtian knew very well that this must be the person who wanted to challenge him. However, Duan Lingtian did not take this person to heart. Even before he had broken through to the intermediate Saint Rudiment stage, he was not afraid of any mortal shedding stage martial or Tao cultivator's challenge, let alone now that he had broken through to the intermediate Saint Rudiment stage. It's Elder Hui from the Moon Illumination sect. When Duan Lingtian and Dong Hui came out together, many people recognized Dong Hui. The person who came out together with Elder Hui must be Duan Lingtian, right? That's right. It's him. I was on duty a few days ago, and I saw him coming to our 9-sect alliance's headquarters with my own eyes. I thought he would avoid the challenge from the Earth Rankings powerhouse on purpose, but I didn't expect him to accept the challenge directly. It seems like he's very confident in his own strength. While the people from the other 8 sects were discussing among themselves, all of them had their eyes trained on Duan Lingtian. These people were the inner court disciples of the various sects, and all of them were at the Saint Rudiment stage or above. If it was an ordinary person, they would more or less feel a little nervous when they saw so many people at the Saint Rudiment stage or above sizing them up. However, Duan Lingtian remained calm when faced with these people's gazes. From the beginning until the end, he was as calm as an ancient well, as though he was an old monk who was meditating. He's just someone who's ranked 71st on the Earth ranking. Our junior brother Duan can even defeat someone who's ranked 66th on the Earth ranking. Don't tell me he's afraid of someone who's ranked even lower? Lu Hai snorted coldly and said in disdain when he heard what the other 8 sects' disciples said. That's right. Our junior brother Duan's strength has been proven, and he deserves his reputation. Many Moon Illumination sects' inner court disciples agreed. Many people from the other 8 sects could not help but laugh when they heard what the group of Moon Illumination sects' inner court disciples said. The problem is, He Zhong, who's ranked 66th on the Earth ranking, is also a disciple of your Moon Illumination sect. That's right. Who knows if He Zhong was coerced by your Moon Illumination sect's high-ranking officials and had no choice but to lose to Duan Lingtian. Although the people from the other 8 sects did not mention a name, the group of Moon Illumination sect's inner court disciples knew who the Moon Illumination sect's high-ranking official was. It was none other than Elder Bai Li Hong, who had acknowledged Duan Lingtian as his junior brother. T. Lu Hai scolded with a flushed face. Many of the Moon Illumination sect's inner court disciples followed suit and scolded as well. However, some of the Moon Illumination sect's inner court disciples had a hint of doubt in their eyes when they heard what the disciples from the other 8 sects said. They stared at Duan Lingtian, who was walking out of the Moon Illumination sect's stronghold slowly. It was apparent that they had doubts in their hearts. Naturally, Duan Lingtian heard and noticed the discussions in the surroundings and the questioning gazes in the surroundings. However, he did not mind at all. This was because he knew he would be able to shut the mouths of the disciples from the other 8 sects very soon. Soon, the questioning gazes in the surroundings would disappear. You're the Duan Lingtian who defeated He Zhong and replaced him to be ranked 66th on the Earth ranking? The middle-aged man with a face full of stubble and a slightly sloppy appearance looked straight at Duan Lingtian and asked with a tone that was close to questioning. However, Duan Lingtian merely glanced at him nonchalantly. So what if I am? If you are, I'll defeat you today and replace you. The middle-aged man's eyes gleamed with arrogance as he said confidently, Remember, the person who defeated you is called idiot. Duan Lingtian spat out 2 words slowly and interrupted the middle-aged man's words. He did not have a good impression of this guy who had spoken to him in a condescending manner since the beginning. If you want to challenge me, just do it. What's the point of being long-winded? Ha 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 ha. When Duan Lingtian interrupted the middle-aged man's words, the crowd burst into laughter when they heard it. This was because the 2 words that Duan Lingtian spat out just happened to finish the middle-aged man's sentence. This Duan Lingtian is really arrogant. He provoked the other party as soon as he opened his mouth. Many of the disciples from the other 8 sects shook their heads. They felt that Duan Lingtian was too impulsive. Now that he won't have a good time, he's going to have a hard time. Many of the disciples from the other 8 sects gloated. The furious middle-aged man opened his mouth as though he wanted to say something. Chapter 1504. I'm not interested in knowing the name of a loser. Duan Lingtian had spoken before the middle-aged man did. Not only did it enrage the middle-aged man, but it also caused an uproar among the onlookers. Arrogant. Too arrogant. This was the same thought that appeared in the minds of the group of people, including many Moon Illumination sect's inner court disciples. All of them thought Duan Lingtian's words were too arrogant. After all, the outcome of the battle had not been decided yet. Good, very good, very good. The middle-aged man took a deep breath and temporarily suppressed the rage that was on the verge of bursting out. He stared at Duan Lingtian and said, I'll let everyone present here witness how you're slapping your own face with your words. If you're capable of that, you're welcome to slap my face. Duan Lingtian smiled faintly, looking natural and at ease. This scene made the onlookers look at each other. Could it be that Duan Lingtian really had the confidence to defeat the middle-aged man? You're seeking death. Duan Lingtian's words were like a fuse that completely ignited the middle-aged man's anger. At once, the middle-aged man roared and pounced toward Duan Lingtian like a madman. His speed was so fast that it was as though he had transformed into a gust of wind. As expected of a famous powerhouse on the Earth ranking, his speed has already surpassed most of the early Saint Rudiment stage martial and Tao cultivators. The onlookers were all inner court disciples from the 9 great sections. They could all see the speed the middle-aged man was displaying was very fast. At the same time, they looked at Duan Lingtian. However, the next scene made them completely dumbfounded. Is that all you've got? Duan Lingtian's voice resonated nonchalantly. At the same time, he had already dodged the middle-aged man's attacks easily a few times. Not only that, but he also appeared next to the middle-aged man and spoke at a speed that was neither fast nor slow. Based on his tone, it was obvious the speed he was displaying was not his full speed. After all, if a person were to use their full strength, even if they could speak, it would be impossible for them to speak so naturally, as if they were just chatting. Dong Hui, who had come out with Duan Lingtian and was watching the battle from the side, was also stunned by the speed displayed by Duan Lingtian. This speed. I'm afraid it's not inferior to an intermediate Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator, right? Dong Hui inwardly sucked in a breath of cold air and muttered, with the speed that junior apprentice brother Duan displayed today, it's impossible for him to be just a mortal shedding realm martial cultivator. It seemed that he had broken through to the Saint realm. What a frightening growth rate. No wonder senior brother Bailey would acknowledge him as his junior brother. Now, Dong Hui thought that Bai Li Hong had taken a liking to Duan Lingtian's martial talent, which was why he had acknowledged Duan Lingtian as his junior brother. However, it did not cross his mind that the reason Bai Li Hong had acknowledged Duan Lingtian as his junior brother was not because of Duan Lingtian's martial talent, but because Duan Lingtian could inherit the strange inscription art that was left behind by the teacher he had never met. Dong Hui's thoughts were exactly what most of the onlookers were thinking. The speed that Duan Lingtian displayed right now completely overpowered him. Could it be that Duan Lingtian has already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage? It's possible. If that's the case, the rumor that Duan Lingtian entered the Earth ranking with a cultivation base of the perfection mortal shedding stage must be fake as well, right? It must be fake. While the disciples of the 8 major sects were discussing among themselves, many of them cast their spiritual secret techniques without restraint in an attempt to probe Duan Lingtian's cultivation base. However, all of them returned empty-handed. It was precisely because they returned empty-handed that they confirmed that Duan Lingtian was indeed a Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator. With their strength, they could probe the cultivation base of any martial or Tao cultivator below the Saint Rudiment stage by casting their spiritual secret techniques. However, their spiritual energy secret techniques were unable to pry into the cultivations of Saint Realm masters like them, or even those above that. Saint Rudiment Stage Martial Cultivator? Junior brother Duan is a Saint Rudiment Stage Martial Cultivator? Lu Yu and Lu Hai were stunned when they heard that Duan Lingtian was a Saint Rudiment Stage Martial Cultivator. They looked at each other in disbelief. The other Moon Illumination Sect's inner court disciples were stunned as well. As Moon Illumination Sect's disciples, naturally, they were no stranger to Duan Lingtian. Not only that, but they were certain that Duan Lingtian was only a perfection mortal shedding stage martial cultivator when he first became famous. This was because Duan Lingtian's cultivation base had been probed by a group of Moon Illumination Sect's inner court disciples using their spiritual secret techniques. Those inner court disciples were certain that Duan Lingtian was a perfection mortal shedding stage martial cultivator. It might be possible for one or two probing mistakes. However, there were so many people, it was impossible for there to be a mistake. Due to this reason, their hearts were filled with shock and disbelief. It had only been a few months, but Duan Lingtian had already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage from the perfection mortal shedding stage. While the onlookers were still in shock, Duan Lingtian had also lost his interest in teasing the middle-aged man. With a lift of his hand, he swung his palm out. Vast true energy swept out and pressed down on the middle-aged man's body, sending him flying. The middle-aged man landed heavily on the ground with heavy injuries, but he did not pass out. The way he looked at Duan Lingtian was no longer arrogant. Instead, there was only fear in his eyes. Yuve broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage? In his opinion, even the person ranked first on the Earth ranking would not be able to defeat him so easily. There was only one possibility for the person in front of him to be able to defeat him so easily. The person in front of him had already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage. When one was at the mortal shedding stage, one could be ranked on the Earth ranking. Once one had broken through to the early Saint Rudiment stage, one's strength could even be compared to an intermediate Saint Rudiment stage martial or Dao cultivator. Those who were ranked at the top of the Earth ranking could even defeat an ordinary intermediate Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse after breaking through to the early Saint Rudiment stage. You're not that stupid after all. Duan Lingtian glanced at the middle-aged man nonchalantly before turning around and leaving without looking back. Only the middle-aged man and the crowd could see his handsome back. Saint Rudiment stage. Duan Lingtian from the Moon Illumination sect was a Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator. At that moment, many people on the scene regained their senses one after another. Horror was written all over their faces. At the same time, the news spread like a hurricane. In just one night, it had spread all over Han River City. In Han River City, as long as one was not in closed-door cultivation or out, one would know about the news. The people from the Ouyang clan were no exception. He actually broke through to the Saint Rudiment stage. Ouyang Ru was shocked. She still remembered that the true energy that Duan Lingtian displayed when he saved her was not at the Saint Rudiment stage. Because of this, she was certain that Duan Lingtian was not a Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator before this. However, now, Ouyang Ruo, who did not have the intention to take revenge on Duan Lingtian, felt even more helpless in her heart. Monster! Monster! Our Ouyang clan must never be his enemy. After learning that Duan Lingtian had already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage, Ouyang Ba was also shocked. At the same time, he secretly made up his mind that he must never be Duan Lingtian's enemy. No matter how much the news spread outside that he was already a Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator, Duan Lingtian was not affected at all. He stayed at the Moon Illumination sect stronghold in the 9 Sect Alliance's headquarters. When he was free, he would chat with Dong Hui and discuss the Martial Dao and the Saint Inscription Dao. Originally, Dong Hui had planned to bring Duan Lingtian out for a walk in the next few days. However, after witnessing Duan Lingtian's attainment in the Saint Inscription Dao, he dismissed the idea. He realized that when Duan Lingtian discussed the Saint Inscription Dao with him, every time he said something strange, it would give him a lot of inspiration. In the end, he also realized that the reason Bai Li Hong took Duan Lingtian as his junior brother was not only because of Duan Lingtian's innate talent in the martial Dao, but it was also because of Duan Lingtian's extraordinary talent in the Saint Inscription Dao. Junior brother Duan, this doesn't seem to be an orthodox Saint Inscription Dao, right? Dong Hui could not help but frown when he heard Duan Lingtian's answer when they were discussing another question. Senior Brother Hui, I heard from Senior Brother Bai Li that you've also come into contact with the strange inscription Dao before. Why? Didn't you notice the shadow of the strange inscription Dao that I mentioned earlier? Duan Lingtian smiled. Strange inscription Dao? However, when Dong Hui heard Duan Lingtian's words, he turned pale with fright. Subsequently, he looked at Duan Lingtian as though he had seen a ghost. Junior Brother Duan, don't tell me you've mastered the strange inscription Dao? I can't say that I've mastered it. I've just learned the basics. Duan Lingtian replied humbly. However, even if he was being humble, it still shocked Dong Hui so much that he fell silent for a long time. After a long while, Dong Hui sighed. It seems like Senior Brother Bai Li has finally found the person he's been waiting for. To think that I thought Senior Brother Bai Li only acknowledged you as his junior brother because of your martial Dao innate talent. Now, it seems like I was wrong from the beginning. At this moment, Dong Hui was completely certain. Bai Li Hong acknowledged Duan Lingtian as his junior brother not because of Duan Lingtian's martial Dao innate talent, but because Duan Lingtian could inherit the strange inscription Dao. Bai Li Hong had shared the strange inscription Dao with him before. However, just like Bai Li Hong, he could not cultivate it because of his spiritual energy. When Duan Lingtian heard Dong Hui's words, he only smiled faintly and did not say anything. Senior Brother Hui, the materials that I need should be here in 2 days, right? Duan Lingtian asked as he looked at Bai Li Hong and changed the topic. A large part of the reason he wanted to stay in Han River City for a few more days was because there was still a pile of materials that he needed on the way to Han River City. Those were the materials that Bai Li Hong had ordered people to gather. Those materials were also the materials that Duan Lingtian needed to repair the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda. They'll definitely be here in 2 days at most. Dong Hui nodded. He did not dare to neglect Duan Lingtian's matter. 2 days later, all the materials had arrived. According to Hua Lao, with the materials that I've gathered in Han River City, the 4th level of the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda should be able to be repaired by 10%. With so many materials, it's only 10%. It seems like repairing the 4th level of the 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda is much more difficult than repairing the 3rd level. Chapter 1505. Since he had obtained the materials, Duan Lingtian did not plan to stay in Han River City any longer. Senior Martial Brother Hui, I'll have to trouble you with the materials I need, Duan Lingtian added when he was bidding farewell to Dong Hui. Don't worry, Junior Brother Duan. I'll continue to send people to look for the materials that you need. When I find them, I'll ask someone to bring them back to the sect and pass them to you. Dong Hui nodded. Thank you, Senior Brother Hui. After thanking him again, Duan Lingtian left. It was late at night when he left. It was so dark that he could not see his own fingers. Duan Lingtian took advantage of the dark to leave the Moon Illumination Sect's stronghold and the 9 Sect Alliance's headquarters quietly. The reason why he chose to leave at this time was to avoid unnecessary trouble. Duan Lingtian knew very well that even though he was an intermediate Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator, he would not be able to fight back if he encountered a paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. What Duan Lingtian did not know was that a figure was following him closely when he left. It wasn't until he saw him leave Han River City that the man stopped in his tracks. He lifted his head and watched Duan Lingtian's figure disappear into the void under the moonlight. The moonlight shone on the person's face. It was none other than Dong Hui, who had just parted ways with Duan Lingtian not long ago. It turned out that after Duan Lingtian left, Dong Hui thought about it and felt worried. Therefore, he secretly escorted Duan Lingtian out of the city. He did not follow him until he saw Duan Lingtian leaving Han River City and disappearing before his eyes. Duan Lingtian flew at full speed in the direction of the Moon Illumination Sect's estate. Huangcheng. On the way back to the Moon Illumination Sect, Duan Lingtian could not help but recall the outer court elder who tried to kill him when he left the Moon Illumination Sect. His heart sank. If it was not for the fact that he had a second 3-star Divine Strider talisman, he would have died in Huangcheng's hands. I hope you're brave enough to stay in the Moon Illumination Sect so that I can have my revenge, Duan Lingtian murmured. These words were obviously directed at Huangcheng. Unfortunately, Duan Lingtian was destined to be disappointed. Huang Cheng had realized that he would not end well if he returned to the Moon Illumination sect after failing to kill him. Therefore, he did not return to the Moon Illumination sect at all. Instead, he went into hiding. Naturally, the reason Huang Cheng was hiding was not because he was afraid of Duan Lingtian. He was afraid of Duan Lingtian by Li Hong. When Duan Lingtian returned to the Moon Illumination sect, there was a remote courtyard in Han River City that was bustling with people. These people, taking advantage of the darkness, shuttled back and forth between the inside and outside of the house. During the day, not a single person could be seen entering or leaving the house. Only at night would a group of people be seen entering and exiting the house. This was the stronghold that the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 sect alliances had set up in Han River City. Currently, in this lively house at night, in a spacious room, the candlelight flickered with the wind. It flickered continuously, reflecting 2 swaying silhouettes. Duan Lingtian from the Moon Illumination sect is Qi Ming's target. There's only one possibility for him to come to Han River City alive and cause such a huge commotion. Qi Ming has failed. One of the silhouettes belonged to a skinny old man. He had a head of interlaced black and white hair. His face seemed to be divided into 2 asymmetrical halves. Half of it was like a man while the other half was like a woman. Currently, he was looking at the sturdy middle-aged man in front of him as he spoke. Could it be because of some other reason? It's impossible for Qi Ming to fail. The sturdy middle-aged man with the back of a tiger and the waist of a bear stood there like an iron tower. He gave off a strong sense of oppression. Even if it's because of some other reason, Qi Ming should be back by now. I'm afraid he's not back yet. The old man replied. Knock, knock. At this moment, 2 soft knocks on the door resonated in the air. Lord Yin Yang. When the old man and the middle-aged man's eyes landed on the door, a respectful voice resonated from outside. Come in. The old man said nonchalantly, as though he could tell who the owner of the voice was. At the same time, he waved his hand, causing the door to open automatically. A tall young man dressed in black walked in slowly. When he saw the sturdy middle-aged man, he bowed respectfully. Lord Tai Wu, what's the matter? The old man raised his hand again and asked nonchalantly after closing the door. Lord Yin Yang, there's a quasi-3-star assassin outside. He said he has something to tell you personally. The young man said, if Lord Yin Yang doesn't want to see him, I'll chase him away. Quasi-3-star assassin? The old man's cloudy eyes gleamed brightly. After a moment of silence, he said, bring him here. In the Mountain Shade Black Market, assassins were divided into different grades. For example, the black-robed man who died in the hands of Duan Lingtian was a 3-star assassin in the Mountain Shade Black Market. Although a quasi-3-star assassin was not as good as him, he was not too far off. In the Mountain Shade Black Market, a quasi-3-star assassin could assassinate an ordinary martial or Dao cultivator at the paramount mortal shedding stage as long as he caught them off guard. One could imagine how terrifying a quasi-3-star assassin was. After a while, the young man who left brought someone with him. It was a person who was covered in a black robe. His face and body could not be seen clearly. He exuded a mysterious aura. Greetings, Lord Yin Yang. The black-robed man bowed slightly to the old man. As for the sturdy middle-aged man next to the old man, he did not seem to know him, so he did not greet him. However, the sturdy middle-aged man did not seem to mind at all. He was still sizing up the black-robed man with great interest. You're looking for me? The old man, who was the Mountain Shade Black Market's high-ranking official with the codename Yin Yang, asked nonchalantly. Naturally, he was only a high-ranking official in the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. In the Mountain Shade Black Markets headquarters, with his strength that had just entered the Saint stage, he was just a handyman who was not worth mentioning at all. The black-robed man, who was also the quasi-3-star assassin who was looking for Yin Yang, glanced at the young man next to him before glancing at the sturdy middle-aged man. You may leave. Upon hearing Yin Yang's order, the young man retreated and closed the door behind him. He's Tai Wu. Yin Yang glanced at the quasi-3-star assassin and said, Tai Wu. However, as soon as Yin Yang's words left his mouth, the quasi-3-star assassin's body could not help but tremble. When he spoke again, his voice trembled a little. "Why, your Lord Taiwu?" Then, he lifted his head slightly and glanced at the sturdy middle-aged man. When he saw the hideous scar that stretched across the sturdy middle-aged man's left eye, he took a deep breath and hurriedly bowed. "Greetings, Lord Taiwu." As an assassin in the Mountain Shade Black Market, he had only come into contact with the high-ranking official, Yin Yang. Although he had heard of Taiwu many times, he had never seen him before. Therefore, even if Taiwu was standing in front of him today, he did not recognize him at all. However, when he recalled the rumors about Taiwu, his heart could not help but tremble. There was a shocking rumor among the Mountain Shade Black Market's assassins that the former sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect had died in Taiwu's hands. When the former sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect died, his strength could be ranked in the top 3 in the 9 sect alliances district. His strength was even above Yin Yang, one of the Mountain Shade Black Market's high-ranking officials. He had also heard a little about Taiwu's origin. It seemed like he had offended a high-ranking official in the Mountain Shade Black Market's upper branch and was suppressed by that high-ranking official. In the end, he was demoted to the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. The Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district was also one of the lowest-ranking branches in the huge Mountain Shade Black Market. There was another rumor about Taiwu who had just arrived at the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. It was said that when he had just arrived, he was also ostracized by the high-ranking officials in the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. Under such circumstances, he did not say anything and just relied on his iron fists to establish his position in the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. Currently, his position in the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch was even higher than Yin Yang's. Therefore, when the black-robed man who was a quasi-3-star assassin heard that the burly middle-aged man standing in front of him was Taiwu, he was also shocked. "What's the matter? Just tell me directly." Taiwu nodded at the black-robed man and said nonchalantly, "Yes." The black-robed man quickly responded. He did not dare to slack off at all as he looked at Taiwu and Yin Yang and said, "Lord Taiwu, Lord Yin Yang, a few days ago, late at night, I just so happened to witness something with my own eyes. It's something that has an extremely bad impact on our Mountain Shade Black Market." When the black-robed man reached the end of his sentence, his expression turned grave. "Huh." Upon hearing the black-robed man's words, Taiwu and Yin Yang looked at each other and saw the surprise in each other's eyes. That night, because I had a mission, I left in a hurry after confirming the identities of those 2 people. It was only when I completed my mission and rushed back that I came to look for you, Lord Yin Yang. The black-robed man said to Yin Yang. "What happened?" Yin Yang asked. "Someone pretended to be from our Mountain Shade Black Market." The black-robed man gritted his teeth and said, "They claim to be assassins from our Mountain Shade Black Market, but I can tell from the aura that they're definitely not assassins. Moreover, our Mountain Shade Black Market's assassins are all restricted by the Lightning Penalty Oath, so it's impossible for them to expose their identities." Swoosh, swoosh. The black-robed man's words caused Taiwu and Yin Yang's expressions to change at once. The uppermost headquarters of the Mountain Shade Black Market was a third-rate force. For such a large force, nothing could be accomplished without rules. Without rules, it was naturally impossible for them to achieve the glory they had today. There were many taboos in the Mountain Shade Black Market as well. One of them was that assassins from the Mountain Shade Black Market were not allowed to expose their identities when they were out. Chapter 1506. Due to this reason, the Mountain Shade Black Market's assassins would never reveal their identities no matter what. It was a taboo for the Mountain Shade Black Market's assassins to reveal their identities. They would even be killed by the thunder punishment of the Tribulation Oath, the 9-9 Heavenly Tribulation. It was even more unforgivable for someone to impersonate someone from the Mountain Shade Black Market. In the Mountain Shade Black Market, there was also a rule that if any force or person dared to impersonate someone from the Mountain Shade Black Market, the Mountain Shade Black Market would attack them with all its might. In order to protect this bottom line, the Mountain Shade Black Market had even made a rule. Anyone from the Mountain Shade Black Market who had broken through to the Saint Stage would have to swear on the thunder punishment oath that anyone who impersonated someone from the Mountainshade Black Market would be attacked with all its might. Anyone who disobeyed would be killed by the Thunder Punishment Oath. Even Tai Wu and Yin Yang were no exception. They had also sworn on the Thunder Punishment Oath. It would be fine if they did not know about it. However, once they knew about it, the Thunder Punishment Oath would come true. How can you prove that what you said is true? Yin Yang looked at the quasi-3-star assassin in front of him and asked in a deep voice, "Do you dare to swear on the Thunder Punishment Oath that everything you said just now is true? If there's any falsehood, you'll be killed by the Thunder Punishment Oath immediately." When the quasi-3-star assassin heard this, he immediately swore on the Thunder Punishment Oath without hesitation. Boom, 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 boom. 9 claps of thunder reverberated in the air, shocking more than half of Han River City. Those who heard the claps of thunder knew that someone had sworn on the Thunder Punishment Oath. That was why the Tribulation Oath, the 9-9 Heavenly Tribulation, responded. When Tai Wu and Yin Yang saw how the quasi-3-star assassin swore on the Thunder Punishment Oath without any hesitation, they realized that this quasi-3-star assassin was not lying. They wanted to verify it because they were worried that this quasi-3-star assassin wanted to kill with a borrowed knife. In the 9-sect alliance's territory, their hands were undoubtedly the sharpest knives. You said that you've confirmed the identities of the impersonators from the Mountainshade Black Market? Tai Wu looked at the quasi-3-star assassin and asked. Yes. The quasi-3-star assassin nodded. Who are they? Yin Yang asked. They are from the Ouyang clan in Han River City. The Ouyang clan is an 8th-rate clan in Han River City. They usually do business with the 9-sect alliance's thighs and have accumulated quite a fortune. The quasi-3-star assassin. Ouyang clan? Hearing the quasi-3-star assassin's words, Tai Wu and Yin Yang looked at each other and saw the cold gleam in each other's eyes. That night, the Ouyang clan welcomed an unprecedented catastrophe since its establishment. The entire Ouyang clan, including the clan leader of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang Ba, was killed except for a small group of people who happened to be out. The group of Ouyang family's upper echelons didn't even have time to react before they were killed one by one. Even the few paramount Saint Rudiment stage-old ancestors of the Ouyang clan were dragged out of the secret chamber in the Ouyang clan's forbidden area and killed one by one. The Ouyang family's paramount Saint Rudiment stage Ouyang family ancestors could not figure out until the moment they were killed. Why would a Saint Realm Master come to kill them and not even say a word to them? That night, the Ouyang clan was bathed in blood. While the Ouyang clan was in a bloodbath, the 2 Saint Realm experts who had acted quickly also swaggered away. When they left, a group of black-robed men rushed in and searched the Ouyang family from top to bottom. When the people from the 9-sect alliance's headquarters arrived, almost everything that was valuable in the Ouyang clan had been taken away. Only corpses were left on the ground, and a river of blood was left behind. Yesterday, the Ouyang clan was still glorious, but overnight, it had completely become history, a thing of the past. At the 9-sect alliance's headquarters, the people in charge of the 9 great sects gathered together. Everyone, what do you think about the Ouyang clan's incident? A burly man with a curly beard asked loudly. His gaze swept across the 30 people present. These 30 people were the people in charge sent by the 9 great sects to Han River City. They worked together to manage the affairs of the 9-sect alliance's headquarters. These 30 people came from the 9 great sections. The few people from the Moon Illumination sect, including Dong Hui, were also present. How did the Ouyang clan get annihilated? Don't tell me Senior Brother Bai Li did it? No. Even if Senior Brother Bai Li did it, it's impossible for him to annihilate the Ouyang clan overnight. The few paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouses from the Ouyang clan are all dead. None of them managed to escape. Initially, Dong Hui thought Bai Li Hong had done it to avenge Duanling Tian. However, he soon realized it was impossible. Suddenly, Dong Hui noticed that many people were looking at the few people from the Moon Illumination sect. Is there a need to look? It must be the people from the Moon Illumination sect who did it. The Moon Illumination sect really cares about that Duanling Tian. Knowing that he was bullied by the Ouyang clan, they immediately annihilated the Ouyang clan. A middle-aged man with an ugly appearance said in a sarcastic tone. annihilating the Ouyang clan overnight. Even those few paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouses couldn't escape. It must be a Saint stage powerhouse who did it. Someone said. What a moon illumination sect. Just because of a small conflict, they actually annihilated an 8th-rate clan that cooperated with our 9-sect alliances. On top of that, it's a clan that we supported together in the past. Moon Illumination Sect, you must give us an explanation. An old man looked at Dong Hui and the few of them angrily and growled. That's right. No matter how wrong the Ouyang clan is, they were still supported by us. Even if the Moon Illumination Sect wants to annihilate them, shouldn't you inform us in advance? How do you view the 8 great sects by acting on your own accord? Many people followed suit and questioned. Annihilating the Ouyang clan? Who's going to take over the mess that the Ouyang clan left behind? How much effort would it take to support an 8th-rate force again? What the Moon Illumination Sect did this time is really too much. At this moment, Dong Hui and the few of them had become the target of the 8 great sections. Humph, do you have any proof that our Moon Illumination Sect did this? A sturdy old man next to Dong Hui snorted in disdain and asked in a deep voice as he looked at the 20 people in front of him. This old man was the person in charge of the 9-sect alliance's headquarters sent by the Moon Illumination Sect. He was one of the few vice-sect leaders of the Moon Illumination Sect. His name was Tranquil. That's right. It's best if you don't say anything before you have any proof. Dong Hui sneered as well. The remaining few people in charge of the Moon Illumination Sect chimed in one after another. Although they suspected in their hearts that Elder Bai Li had persuaded the upper echelons of the sect to let the Saint stage powerhouses in the sect annihilate the Ouyang clan, at this time, they obviously could not show their suspicion. What proof do we need? A sturdy middle-aged man stepped forward and sneered. Apart from the Moon Illumination Sect, who else would have the motive to annihilate the Ouyang clan? That's right. Only a Saint stage powerhouse can annihilate the Ouyang clan in just one night. Why don't you tell me, apart from the 9 great sects, which other force has a Saint stage powerhouse in the 9-sect alliances district? Another hostage asked. Apart from the 9 great sects, which other force has a Saint stage powerhouse in the 9-sect alliances district? Upon hearing this person's question, Tan Quan sneered. You seem to have forgotten about the Mountain Shade Black Market, right? Mountain Shade Black Market. When Tan Quan mentioned the Mountain Shade Black Market, the scene fell silent, and the atmosphere became a little strange. The Mountain Shade Black Market had always been a thorn in the throat of the 9 great sections. It was also the driving force that bound the 9 great sects together. Without the Mountain Shade Black Market, the 9-sect alliances would not exist. It could be said that the Mountain Shade Black Market was the one who created the alliance of the 9 great sections. The Mountain Shade Black Market had given them a lot of pressure. Humph. Don't use the Mountain Shade Black Market to scare us. All these years, the Mountain Shade Black Market has only been operating in the dark. When did they ever do such a thing? Soon, one of the sect's senior management snapped back to his senses and snorted coldly. His words also received the agreement of many people. That's right. Although the people from the Mountain Shade Black Market do things strangely, this doesn't seem like their style at all. The Ouyang clan offended Duan Lingtian from your Moon Illumination Sect, and they were annihilated just a few days ago. Who would believe you if you say this has nothing to do with your Moon Illumination Sect? Is the Moon Illumination Sect so cowardly that they don't dare to admit what they did? Many people from the 8 great sects began to mock Tan Quan, Dong Hui, and the others. For a moment, Tan Quan, Dong Hui, and the others were rendered speechless. After all, what the people from the 8 great sects said made sense. Maybe the people from the Ouyang clan were blind and offended the Mountain Shade Black Market? In the end, Dong Hui was the first to snap back to his senses and refuted. Just when the group of senior management from the 8 great sects was about to say something, a young man rushed in from the outside in a hurry. Such a lack of etiquette caused everyone to involuntarily frown. Which sect's disciple is so rude? He's not from our profound talisman sect anyway. He's not from our sect either. The senior management from the 8 great sects denied any involvement. Soon after, their gazes landed on the few senior management from the Moon Illumination Sect in unison. If he was not from their sect, then he could only be from the Moon Illumination Sect. At this moment, Whether it was Tan Quan, the vice sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect, or Dong Hui and the others, all of them had a grave expression on their faces. However, the Moon Illumination sect's disciple who barged in did not seem to notice the strange atmosphere. As he rushed in, he said, "Junior uncles, senior uncles, the reason why the Ouyang clan was annihilated has spread in Han River City." What? The moment the Moon Illumination sect's disciple's words left his mouth, the entire place burst into an uproar. At this moment, nobody bothered about the Moon Illumination sect's disciples' lack of manners anymore. To them, the reason why the Ouyang clan was annihilated was the most important reason. What reason? Chapter 1507. The Moon Illumination sect's disciple who barged in recklessly was just an ordinary inner court disciple of the Moon Illumination sect. The reason he barged in earlier was because he was shocked by the news. Now, when he saw the 9 great sect's upper echelons looking at him, he, who had already regained his senses, felt somewhat restrained. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. "Don't be nervous. Speak slowly." When Tan Quan saw how restrained the Moon Illumination sect's disciple was, he smiled and encouraged him. In the face of the vice sect leader's encouragement, the Moon Illumination sect's disciple took a deep breath and said slowly, "The news that's spreading outside is said to be released by the Mountain Shade Black Market. Because someone from the Ouyang clan pretended to be from the Mountain Shade Black Market, they annihilated the entire Ouyang clan." Mountain Shade Black Market. The moment the Moon Illumination sect's disciple's words left his mouth, the high-ranking officials of the 9 great sects gasped one after another. Humph. In the future, there are some things that are best not said without evidence. After Tan Quan came back to his senses, the first thing he did was to look at the higher-ups of the 8 sections. He snorted and said sarcastically, in the face of Tan Quan's ridicule, although the upper echelons of the 8 great sects were dissatisfied, they did not say anything more about this matter. After all, they were in the wrong. Vice sect leader Tan, we shouldn't be entangled in this matter anymore. What we need to discuss is the matter regarding the Mountain Shade Black Market. The Mountain Shade Black Market's hand has stretched too far. They clearly knew that the Ouyang clan was supported by the 9 sect alliances, yet they still dared to annihilate them. A white-bearded old man glared at him and said with dissatisfaction, "You can't say that. The Mountain Shade Black Market has spread word that the Ouyang clan was exterminated because someone from the Ouyang clan impersonated them." That's right. The Ouyang clan's people are simply digging their own graves by doing so. I've also heard of the Mountain Shade Black Market's rules. Anyone who dares to impersonate one of their people will be executed along with their entire family once it's verified. The Ouyang clan only has themselves to blame. They can't blame others. Including the high-ranking officials of the Moon Illumination sect, the high-ranking officials of several sects felt that the Ouyang clan had brought this upon themselves. They could not blame the Mountain Shade Black Market. Moreover, even they knew the rules of the Mountain Shade Black Market. It was impossible for the Ouyang family not to know. However, even if that was the case, the Ouyang clansman still dared to impersonate someone from the Mountain Shade Black Market. He was simply courting death. You can't say that. Even if the Ouyang clan is in the wrong, they shouldn't be exterminated, right? At most, we'll just kill the Ouyang clansman who pretended to be a member of the Mountain Shade Black Market. As the saying goes, don't implicate the family. That's right. I also feel that the Mountain Shade Black Market has gone too far this time. They're trying to show off their strength to us. I feel the same way. I think we need to send someone to negotiate with them. There were also a few high-ranking officials from other sects who were dissatisfied with the Mountain Shade Black Market, including the Profound Talisman sect. As for the other sects, they were closer to the Profound Talisman sect. It was not a secret that the Profound Talisman sect and the Mountain Shade Black Market were sworn enemies in the 9 sect alliances district. All of this was because the former sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect had been killed by a powerhouse from the Mountain Shade Black Market. Due to the oppression from the Mountain Shade Black Market's powerhouse, the 3-star Dao Talisman Master from the Profound Talisman sect, who was also the current sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect, had sworn on the Lightning Penalty Oath. The lightning penalty oath stated that the 3-star offensive Tao talisman that he had drawn was not allowed to be passed on to anyone other than the people from the Profound Talisman sect. When anyone from the Profound Talisman sect obtained a 3-star offensive Tao talisman, they would have to swear on the lightning penalty oath that they would not pass the 3-star offensive Tao talisman to anyone else. Due to this reason, although the Profound Talisman sect had a Tao talisman master who could draw 3-star offensive Tao talismans, they would not pass it on to outsiders. The Profound Talisman sect had lost a business opportunity because of this. The Profound Talisman sect had always regarded this as a great humiliation. Due to this reason, they had always been hostile to the Mountain Shade Black Market. As for the reason why the Mountain Shade Black Market's powerhouse forced the Profound Talisman sect to do this, it was because they did not want 3-star offensive Tao talismans to be circulated in the 9 Sect Alliances district. This was because it would affect their various businesses to a certain extent. Just think about it. When a 2-star assassin whose cultivation base was at the Perfection Saint Rudiment stage was hunting a target whose strength was far inferior to his, and his opponent threw out a 3-star offensive Tao talisman, would that not kill him? In that case, he would fail his mission as well. If he failed his mission, it would affect the Mountain Shade Black Market's reputation. What the Mountain Shade Black Market valued the most was their reputation. Due to this reason, the Mountain Shade Black Market would not allow 3-star offensive Tao talismans to wreak havoc in the 9 Sect Alliances district. Humph. Since all of you want to negotiate with the Mountain Shade Black Market, then go on your own. Forgive us for not accompanying you. Tanquan, the vice sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect, naturally knew what the Profound Talisman sect's people were thinking. He could not help but snort coldly. That's right. All of you go on your own if you want to. If you succeed in negotiating, we'll hold a celebratory feast for all of you. That's right. The other senior officials from the other sects who were not so close to the Profound Talisman sect chimed in as well. As the senior officials of the various sects, they were naturally sly old foxes. How could they not see that the Profound Talisman sect wanted to drag them into the water and have a direct conflict with the Mountain Shade Black Market? They were not stupid enough to be the Profound Talisman sect's knife. As for the other sects, they were all sects that had a good relationship with the Profound Talisman sect. Usually, the Profound Talisman sect would sell all kinds of Tao talismans to them at a huge discount. This treatment was not something they could enjoy. Although the 9 Sect Alliances were an alliance, they were not a monolithic entity. Unless the Mountain Shade Black Market wanted to annihilate the 9 great sects, they would never truly unite. However, in recent years, the Mountain Shade Black Market did not have such ambition. Why you? You, the old man with a goatee, was the vice sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect. When he heard the words of Tan Quan and the other vice sect leaders, he was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at them. Are all of you still in the same alliance as us? Vice sect leader he. Don't forget the purpose of the 9 sect alliances when we were first established. Tan Quan sneered. This time, the Mountain Shade Black Market could have completely concealed the fact that the Ouyang clan was annihilated by them, but they didn't do so. The reason why they revealed it was because they wanted to show their might and warn the others. This time, the Ouyang clan was in the wrong. Although it's a little too much for them to be annihilated, don't tell me this is the first time you've seen the Mountain Shade Black Market's way of doing things? When Tan Quan reached this point, he took a deep look at Hien, the vice sect leader of the Profound Talisman sect. Tan Quan. Hien's face turned grave as he flew into a rage. Naturally, he understood the meaning behind Tan Quan's words. He was insinuating that their Profound Talisman sect's previous sect leader was killed by the Mountain Shade Black Market's powerhouse, and that their Profound Talisman sect was forced by the Mountain Shade Black Market's powerhouse to not dare to spread the 3-star offensive Tao talisman. Vice sect leader Tan, you've gone too far. Even if you don't dare to offend the Mountain Shade Black Market, there's no need to boost their morale and destroy our 9 Sect Alliance's prestige, right? An ugly short middle-aged man snorted. What a big hat. Tan Quan sneered. What did I say earlier? Do my words have the prestige of the Mountain Shade Black Market to destroy our 9 Sect Alliance's prestige? Aren't you overthinking things? Why don't you tell everyone what you think? When the short middle-aged man heard Tan Quan's words, he was so angry that he was rendered speechless. Naturally, He understood the meaning behind Tan Quan's words. He was not the only one. Everyone present could understand it as well. Tan Quan was insinuating the profound talisman sect's unbearable past. However, Tan Quan did not say it out loud, so he did not directly offend the profound talisman sect. If he said it out loud, he would be directly offending the profound talisman sect. Naturally, he would not do such a stupid thing. No matter what, this matter came to an end with Tan Quan and the others' denial. If the people from the Profound Talisman sect and the other sects convinced the people from the Moon Illumination sect and the other sects to go to the Mountain Shade Black Market to denounce them, they might have some confidence. However, they did not dare to go alone. Even if the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9-Sect Alliances district was only one of the lowest and smallest branches under the Mountain Shade Black Market, it was still not something that a few 7th-rate sects like them could shake. If Junior Brother Duan knows that the Ouyang clan has been annihilated just like that, I'm sure he'll be very happy, right? Dong Hui's eyes gleamed as he thought to himself. No matter how turbulent the situation in Han River City was, Duan Lingtian knew nothing about it for the time being. He was on his way back to the Moon Illumination sect. With his current speed, it would still take him some time to rush back to the Moon Illumination sect. There was still quite a distance between Han River City and the Moon Illumination sect. When Duan Lingtian returned to the Moon Illumination sect and learned that the Ouyang clan had been annihilated, he was stunned. Pretending to be from the Mountain Shade Black Market? When Duan Lingtian learned about this, the first thing that came to his mind was that night in Han River City when the Ouyang clan's second elder, Ouyang Shan, appeared and seemed to have lied about being from the Mountain Shade Black Market. At that time, he had already confirmed Ouyang Shan's identity. Therefore, he was certain that Ouyang Shan was not from the Mountain Shade Black Market. However, he did not expect that Ouyang Shan's words to deceive him would lead to the annihilation of the Ouyang clan. Apart from the dead Ouyang Shan, only Ouyang Qing and I knew that Ouyang Shan had pretended to be from the Mountain Shade Black Market. Could it be that Ouyang Qing spread the news? The moment Duan Lingtian thought about this, he shook his head again, thinking that it was impossible. If it's not Ouyang Qing, it means that there was a fourth person at the scene. The moment Duan Lingtian thought about this, he felt chills running down his spine. A person who could hide so perfectly without being discovered by him would have to be at least at the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage, or even a Saint stage powerhouse. If that person wanted to harm him, he would not be a match for him even if he had a 3-star offensive Dao Talisman. Chapter 1508. Duan Lingtian was only slightly surprised by the annihilation of the Ouyang clan. Soon after, he put this matter to the back of his mind. However, the next thing that happened made him feel terrible. That Huang Cheng disappeared without a trace after leaving his post without permission. The thing that Duan Lingtian did not want to happen the most still happened. Huang Cheng, the Moon Illumination sect's outer court elder who wanted to kill him, actually chose to leave the Moon Illumination sect after failing to kill him. He must be worried that I'll return to the Moon Illumination sect after leaving and tell Senior Brother Bai Li that he wanted to kill me. Duan Lingtian was almost certain about this. Although Huang Cheng was only an outer court elder, as long as his senior brother Bai Li Hong wanted to, he could easily kill him anytime. Moreover, he did not even have to do it himself. The days after Duan Lingtian returned to the Moon Illumination sect were not peaceful. At the very least, it was not peaceful around him. This was because when the news of the annihilation of the Ouyang clan spread, the news of him breaking through to the Saint Rudiment stage swept across the entire Moon Illumination sect like a hurricane. It shocked the entire sect. Oh my God! Someone tell me that this is fake news. Many inner court disciples wailed. These inner court disciples had witnessed Duan Lingtian defeating He Zhong with their own eyes. They had also probed Duan Lingtian's cultivation base during the process. They were certain Duan Lingtian was only a perfection mortal shedding stage martial cultivator when he defeated He Zhong. However, how long had it been, and Duan Lingtian had already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage? Could it be that Elder Bai Li fed him some spirit pills or heaven and earth spirit fruit? I've never heard of any spirit pills or heaven and earth spirit fruit that can help a person break through to the Saint Rudiment stage from the perfection mortal shedding stage in just a few months. Is Duan Lingtian really a normal human? Why do I feel like he's the incarnation of a celestial god? Don't be ridiculous. Maybe he had a fortuitous encounter. No matter what, the news of Duan Lingtian breaking through to the Saint Rudiment stage was a fact. When Duan Lingtian displayed his strength at the Saint Rudiment stage, not only were there many inner court disciples from the Moon Illumination sect present, but there were also many people from the other 8 great sects present as well. Due to this reason, it could not be fake at all. At this moment, the entire Moon Illumination sect was in an uproar because of Duan Lingtian. If the Moon Illumination sect was a pool of stagnant water before Duan Lingtian's arrival, Duan Lingtian had forcefully brought the pool of stagnant water back to life. Junior brother, you broke through to the Saint Realm? Bai Li Hong, who had just heard the news, was also stunned. Although there were some rumors circulating outside that said it was because of him that Duan Lingtian's cultivation could improve so quickly and so exaggeratedly. However, only he knew that it was not his doing at all. He didn't have that ability yet. Yes. Duan Lingtian nodded with a smile in response to Bai Li Hong's question. At this moment, Bai Li Hong smiled wryly for a long time with a complicated gaze. I thought Junior Brother's innate talent in the Saint Inscription Dao was shocking enough, but I didn't expect your innate talent in the Martial Dao to be so monstrous as well. No, this is no longer monstrous. It should be heaven-defying. In just a few months, he had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage from the Perfection Mortal Shedding stage. Such progress could be considered heaven-defying. Only Duan Lingtian knew that he did not have such a huge breakthrough in just a few months. Although his innate talent was not bad, it was mostly because of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda. The extremely slow flow of time in the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda provided him with an unimaginable cultivation environment. It allowed him to catch up and even surpass others in the shortest time possible. Junior brother, now that you've broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage, you can inscribe 2-star Saint inscriptions now, right? Bai Li Hong asked.
Yes.
Duan Lingtian nodded. When he had just returned, he had tried to inscribe 2-star Saint inscriptions. After failing a few times, he finally succeeded. Can you inscribe it using the strange inscription technique? Bai Li Hong's eyes lit up as he asked. Ever since I came back, I've only deduced how to inscribe 2-star Saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique. I haven't tried it yet, Duan Lingtian said. Can I have the honor of watching? Bai Li Hong asked with a smile. Of course, no problem. Duan Lingtian agreed immediately. At the same time, he began to try inscribing 2-star Saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique in front of Bai Li Hong. The materials required to inscribe Saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique were less than half of the materials required by the orthodox technique. After a few experiments, Duan Lingtian finally managed to inscribe 2-star Saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique. The materials required were less than half of the materials required by the orthodox Saint inscriptions, saving him a lot of money. Junior brother Duan, you're really a genius in the Saint inscription Dao. Bai Li Hong could not help but exclaim when he saw Duan Lingtian manage to inscribe 2-star Saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique in such a short time. Initially, I was still thinking about how to persuade you to focus on the Saint Inscription Dao. However, it seems like there's no need for that now. This is because no matter if it's your achievements in the Martial Dao or the Saint Inscription Dao, they're both beyond the reach of ordinary people. Ordinary people might not be able to reach the peak of both the Martial Dao and the Saint Inscription Dao, but you won't. Based on Bai Li Hong's words, he was full of confidence in Duan Lingtian. It was almost blind confidence. Senior brother, I'm going to sign up for the Inner Court Disciple Assessment. When will the Inner Court Disciple Assessment begin? Duan Lingtian asked. Junior brother, with your current strength, it's meaningless for you to participate in the Inner Court Disciple Assessment. I'll get someone to make a trip and get you an Inner Court Disciple Identity Token, Bai Li Hong said. Duan Lingtian nodded. Duan Lingtian thought about it for a moment. Indeed, that was the case. With his current strength, even a Mastery Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse would not be much of a threat to him. Due to this reason, he did not reject Bai Li Hong's good intentions. Junior brother, I remember you promised me that when you enter the inner court one day, you'll stay at my place, Bai Li Hong said with narrowed eyes. Of course I remember. Duan Lingtian nodded with a smile. If senior brother doesn't mind, I'll stay at your place from now on. Haha, great. I've already gotten someone to prepare a room for you. Moreover, it's tidied up every once in a while. You can stay there directly. Bai Li Hong laughed out loud when he received Duan Lingtian's promise. He appeared to be very happy. Upon hearing Bai Li Hong's words, Duan Lingtian was touched. He felt extremely warm. Oh right. Did your trip to Han River City go smoothly? Bai Li Hong asked. He knew nothing about Duan Lingtian's journey to Han River City and what happened after he arrived at Han River City because he did not have the time to ask Duan Lingtian. Before this, he did not even know Duan Lingtian had left the Moon Illumination sect. However, he did not blame Duan Lingtian because he knew the reason Duan Lingtian did that was because he did not want to trouble him and make him worry. Duan Lingtian had long regarded Bai Li Hong as his elder brother even though the age gap between them was a little exaggerated. Due to this reason, he did not hide anything from Bai Li Hong and told him everything that had happened to him. Of course, as for the dangers involved, he played it down. Even so, it still made Bai Li Hong tremble with fear. Huang Cheng, he's just an outer court elder. How dare he covet you and want to kill you? He deserves to die. Don't worry, junior brother. I'll use my connections to find Huang Cheng and bring him to you for you to do whatever you want with him. Bai Li Hong was furious. He was really furious. In the beginning, he had only regarded Duan Lingtian as his junior brother because Duan Lingtian was able to inherit the strange inscription art. However, now that he thought of Duan Lingtian as his junior brother, Duan Lingtian's strength had changed. However, he had long regarded Duan Lingtian as his junior brother now. It was not only because he had inherited the strange inscription art, but it was also because his character was very compatible with his temperament. When he was with Duan Lingtian, he even felt like he had found a good friend despite the difference in age. When he learned that Duan Lingtian had almost died in Huang Cheng's hands, he could not suppress the anger in his heart. Senior brother, please calm down. Huang Cheng is nothing to me. Duan Lingtian smiled faintly and said confidently. He was really confident in his words. With his current strength, he might not be able to fight Huang Cheng head-on. However, as long as he was given more time, he would definitely be able to surpass Huang Cheng in all aspects. The cultivation environment on the third level of the Seven Treasures Exquisite Pagoda was not something the second level could compare to. It was enough to help him soar. If I'm not mistaken, the black-robed man at the back must be an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market. Soon after, Bai Li Hong said with a solemn expression, "Fortunately, you met a benefactor. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable." Duan Lingtian also told Bai Li Hong about the black-robed assassin. However, he omitted the part about the Devil Seal tablet. He only said that it was a powerhouse who happened to be passing by and killed the black-robed man with a flip of his palm. That's right. Fortunately, I met a benefactor. Unfortunately, when I asked him for his name and where he came from, he did not reply and left immediately. Duan Lingtian sighed emotionally. Bai Li Hong's words made it sound as if it was true. Naturally, Bai Li Hong did not doubt Duan Lingtian's words. He nodded and said, "That benefactor is either a reclusive powerhouse who usually lives in seclusion in our 9-sect alliances district, or he's from a force that's at least at the same level as our Moon Illumination sect. Based on your description, the black-robed man who wanted to kill you should be a 3-star assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market. Since that benefactor could kill him with a flip of his palm, it means that he's not an ordinary Saint Stage powerhouse." When Bai Li Hong reached the end of his sentence, a hint of gratitude could be seen in his eyes. It was gratitude toward that benefactor. In a spacious mansion in the Inner Court District, after Lu Huan learned that not only had Duan Lingtian returned safely, but he had also broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage, he was so furious that his face turned grave. He was speechless for a long time. Impossible. Impossible. It's impossible for him to still be alive. Chapter 1509. Don't tell me the people from Mountain Shade Black Market haven't made their move yet? Although Lu Huan could not believe Duan Lingtian had returned alive, it was true that Duan Lingtian had returned. No matter how unwilling Lu Huan was to believe it, he had no choice but to accept this reality. For a moment, he thought the people from Mountain Shade Black Market had not made their move yet. That's not right. I've set a time with the Mountain Shade Black Market. Once the time is over, the mission will be considered a failure. Now that the time has passed, this means the mission has failed. Lu Huan's face turned grave again when he thought of this. Soon after, he left his mansion in the Moon Illumination sect and headed in the direction of Han River City. He wanted to confirm this himself. When Lu Huan left, many people in the Moon Illumination sect who had interacted with Duan Lingtian had also learned that Duan Lingtian had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage. Impossible. 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 Yiman had just come out of his closed-door cultivation when he heard the news that Duan Lingtian had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage. He was in a daze. Initially, he thought he could wash away the humiliation he had suffered in the past by coming to the Moon Illumination sect. He thought he could trample Duan Lingtian beneath his feet and even kill Duan Lingtian with his own hands. However, the heavens played a huge joke on him. Although he had fallen into the Devil Dao due to his obsession, his cultivation speed had improved by leaps and bounds. However, he was still far from Duan Lingtian. Duan Lingtian seemed to be walking in front of him with every step he took. No, no, no. Yiman's body exuded traces of devil qi unknowingly. His eyes had also turned extremely red. At the same time, he rushed out of his independent courtyard and attacked anyone he saw as though he had lost his mind. Yiman's cultivation base had already reached the peak of the paramount mortal shedding stage when he came out of closed-door cultivation this time. Very few people in the outer court were his match. In just a short while, a few outer court disciples had died in his hands and were torn into pieces by him. The bloody scene caused the surrounding outer court disciples to reveal terrified expressions one after another as they dispersed in an uproar. Murder! Murder! Yiman has gone into qi deviation and killed someone. Elders, deacons, help, help. One by one, the outer sect disciples who saw Yiman kill people scattered and shouted loudly. Some of the outer sect disciples who were targeted by Yiman kept calling for help. Unfortunately, it would take some time for the outer court elders and outer court deacons to rush over after receiving the news. Therefore, before the outer court elders and outer court deacons arrived, Yiman had already killed more than a dozen people. Every time he killed a person, the devil qi on his body would surge a little. In the end, he actually broke through. He had broken through to the early Saint Rudiment stage. Early Saint Realm? As for Yiman, who had originally lost his rationality and was on the verge of madness, after breaking through, he instantly regained his senses. At this moment, he also realized that he was in trouble. Duan Lingtian, you are a Saint Realm expert, and I am also a Saint Realm expert. One day, I will trample you under my feet. After breaking through to the Saint Realm, Yiman's confidence seemed to have returned. When he realized the impending danger, he did not dare to hesitate any longer. He immediately fled out of the Moon Illumination sect. However, how could his speed be compared to the speed of the outer court elders? In just a few moments, a few outer court elders appeared around him and surrounded him, glaring at him fiercely. Whoosh! At the same time, a gust of wind blew past, and another person appeared in front of Yiman Elder Dongfang. When the few outer court elders saw this person, they bowed respectfully one after another. This person was none other than the Grand Elder of the outer court, Dongfang Quan. The few outer court elders did not expect this matter to alarm Dongfang Quan. However, when they thought about how terrible this matter was, they felt relieved. If this Elder Dongfang did not appear, then it would be somewhat unreasonable. After all, he was the person in charge of the Moon Illumination sect's outer court. Even the outer court elders like them had to listen to his orders and obey him. You're quite bold to attack your senior brother from the same sect. At this moment, Dongfang Quan's expression was slightly grave. He did not expect such a terrible thing to happen in the outer court while he was the Grand Elder of the outer court. Such a thing had only happened a few times in the history of the Moon Illumination sect. Although Yiman had never seen the old man in front of him before, he knew his identity from how the few outer court elders addressed him. Yiman's expression turned solemn at once. After taking a deep breath, Yiman's hands trembled. 2 cold gleams flashed and left 2 bloody wounds on both of his palms at the same time. Blood kept flowing out of the wounds as though it was free. At the same time, Yi-Man clapped his hands together, and a dazzling bloody gleam shone out of them. T. Upon seeing this, horror dawned on Dongfang Quan's face. The expressions of the few outer court elders around him changed as well. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The instant horror dawned on Dongfang Quan and the few outer court elders. They quickly made their moves. However, even Dongfang Quan, who was the fastest, could only destroy the bloody mist that was condensed by the red gleam when he passed by the spot where Yi-Man was standing. From the beginning until the end, he did not touch Yi-Man at all. However, Yi-Man, a living person, had disappeared before their eyes just like that. Blood flight. It's the blood flight. One of the outer court elders said with a grave expression, "This Yi-Man is actually a Saint Rudiment stage devil cultivator." The blood flight was a technique that only devil cultivators above the Saint Rudiment stage could master. Once the blood flight was cast, the devil cultivator would possess a speed that was one level higher than his cultivation base in just a blink of an eye. It was the devil cultivator's life-saving secret technique. Naturally, the blood flight secret technique was so heaven-defying that it came with a hefty price. Apart from being able to cast it 3 times in one's life, one would have to burn one's life force. Not only that, but one would also lose one's strength for a period of time. It was impossible for a devil cultivator to cast the blood flight unless it was a matter of life and death. You guys didn't notice a Saint Rudiment stage devil cultivator lurking in the outer court all this while? Dongfang Quan glanced at the few outer court elders with a grave expression and said, "It was one thing for a devil cultivator to kill someone in the outer court. However, the devil cultivator had actually escaped. He had escaped right under his nose. To him, this was an absolute humiliation." Dongfang Quan left the Moon Illumination sect's estate like a gust of wind while the few outer court elders were smiling wryly. No matter what, he had to do his best to search for the devil cultivator who had escaped. This was because only then would he be able to answer to the dead outer court disciples and the sect. Although the chances were slim, he knew that the best time to look for the devil cultivator was now. This was because the devil cultivator had already lost all of his strength. Even if he used the blood flight to somewhere, he would not be able to get far. When Dongfang Quan was chasing after Yi-Man, the few outer court elders had also returned to the outer court. However, they did not dare to say much about Yi-Man's matter. No matter how the other outer court elders and outer court deacons asked, they only said that they had encountered Dongfang Quan on their way back. Dongfang Quan had asked them to come back to comfort the group of outer court disciples while he went to capture Yi-Man Elder Dong Chong. That Yi-Man entered the sect right under your nose. I'm afraid you won't be able to get away with this matter. One of the outer court elders looked at Dong Chong and said, Dong Chong was the outer court elder who was in charge of presiding over the entrance examination of the Moon Illumination sect when Duan Lingtian and Yi-Man had participated in the entrance examination. Upon hearing the outer court elder's words, Dong Chong could not help but smile wryly. He had already mentally prepared himself for this. If the sect had set a rule from the beginning to forbid devil cultivators from entering the sect, this wouldn't have happened. Many outer court elders spoke up for Dong Chong. If we're really talking about responsibility, it's the sect's responsibility. It has nothing to do with you at all, Elder Dong Chong. You're only acting according to the sect's rules. That's right. Everyone knows that Yi-Man is a devil cultivator. However, nobody knew that he would suddenly go crazy and kill so many outer court disciples. Each and every one of the outer court elders was filled with righteous indignation. All right. What we have to do now is to comfort the remaining outer court disciples. I'm afraid what happened today has left a shadow in their hearts. This matter can be big or small. We must minimize the impact. An outer court elder who was calmer saw the situation before him clearly. That's right. What we have to do now is not to complain about the sect's rules. The most important thing now is to comfort the remaining outer court disciples. Dong Chong agreed. When Duan Lingtian learned about this matter, it was already 3 days later. For the past 3 days, he had been inscribing 2-star saint inscriptions using the strange inscription technique in the quiet room in Bai Li Hong's mansion. In the end, his mastery of the strange inscription technique of inscribing 2-star saint inscriptions had also reached the point of perfection. At this moment, he finally walked out of the quiet room. As soon as he walked out of the quiet room, he heard about the devil cultivator killing people in the outer court. Yi Man? When Duan Lingtian learned that the devil cultivator was Yi Man, a strange expression appeared on his face. He was familiar with Yi Man. In fact, he had met Yi Man when he had just arrived at the Dao Martial Saint Land. During that meeting, he had even snatched the spot to join the latent dragon camp in the city governor's estate of Mound Hill City that should have belonged to Yi Man. After a year, he had met Yi Man again during the entrance exam of the Moon Illumination sect. At that time, he had already sensed Yi Man's hatred and killing intent toward him. Yi Man could not wait to kill him. However, all this while, he had never taken Yi Man seriously. He was not even afraid of Yi Man before he had fallen into the Devil Dao, let alone Yi Man who had fallen into the Devil Dao. Yi Man, who had fallen into the Devil Dao, would not be able to withstand the devil-suppressing energy that was displayed by the Devil Seal tablet unless his cultivation base was 2 levels higher than him. Under the suppression of the devil-suppressing energy, his soul was destined to be destroyed. He must have fallen into chi deviation, right? Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Have you caught him? Duan Lingtian asked Bai Li Hong. Tell the public that we've caught him, Bai Li Hong replied. Then, in reality, we haven't caught him? How's that possible? Chapter 15:10. Although Yi Man was a devil cultivator who suffered from chi deviation, his strength had increased tremendously. However, he was only a paramount mortal shedding stage devil cultivator after all. Logically, it was impossible for him to escape from a group of outer court elders and deacons. Moreover, Yi Man had killed so many outer court disciples. His vile nature was enough to shake the entire Moon Illumination sect's high-ranking officials. Even the outer court's grand elder, Dongfang Quan, would intervene in this matter. Duan Lingtian had dealt with Dongfang Quan before, so he knew that his strength was comparable to an inner court elder. With him making a move, how could Yi Man possibly have the leeway to escape? I heard Yi Man cast the blood flight, Bai Li Hong said. Blood flight? Duan Lingtian's eyes narrowed. Naturally, he knew what the blood flight was. Blood flight is a technique that only devil cultivators above the Saint Rudiment stage can cast. Does this mean Yi Man has already broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage? Duan Lingtian was shocked. The speed of a Saint Rudiment stage devil cultivator who cast the blood flight secret tactic was as fast as a Saint stage powerhouse. Once the blood flight secret tactic was cast, apart from the terrifying side effect, the speed was so exaggerated that it could allow one to cross a major level. Therefore, even if Yi Man was only an early Saint Rudiment stage devil cultivator, as long as he successfully cast the blood flight secret tactic, no one below the Saint stage could stop him. Speaking of Yi Man, he seems to have entered the sect at the same time as you, junior brother. Bai Li Hong sighed emotionally. I really didn't expect that apart from you, there would be such a monster among the disciples recruited by the sect this time. Unfortunately, he killed someone in the sect. It's destined that the sect won't tolerate him. Moreover, after using the blood escape secret technique, his future achievements will be greatly reduced. Bai Li Hong said, devil cultivators above the Saint Rudiment stage could only cast the blood flight secret tactic 3 times in their lifetime. The 3rd time it was used would also mean the end of one's life. Therefore, ordinary devil cultivators would only dare to cast the blood flight secret tactic twice if they wanted to live. Moreover, each time they cast it, it would cause a huge side effect to them. Not only would the side effect affect their lifespan, but it would also affect their cultivation progress in the future. I'm afraid Dongfang Quan won't be able to explain this to the sect leader. Bai Li Hong shook his head and muttered to himself. However, as someone who had opened 99 Saint veins, Duan Lingtian's hearing was amazing. He could easily hear Bai Li Hong's mutterings. Regarding this, he could understand. No matter what, Dongfang Quan was still the outer sect's grand elder, the person in charge of the entire outer sect. Since such a thing had happened in his territory and the culprit had not been caught yet, he would definitely be punished. Junior brother, it's enough that you know about Yi Man's successful escape. Try not to spread it to the outside world. Tell the outside world that Yi Man has been captured, and will be executed in the next few days. Bai Li Hong said, I understand. Duan Lingtian nodded. Although Bai Li Hong did not explain the reason, it was not difficult for Duan Lingtian to guess. It was none other than the Moon Illumination sect's senior officials who were worried that the outer court disciples would panic again if the news of Yi Man's escape spread. Only by saying that they had captured Yi Man could they calm the fear of the outer sect disciples and restore peace to the outer sect. 3 days later, the sect leader of Moon Illumination sect gave the order to execute Yi Man. On that day, Duan Lingtian was also present. When he saw Yi Man, who was tied up in the middle of the execution ground surrounded by a huge crowd, even Duan Lingtian could not help but exclaim inwardly, what a brilliant disguise technique. It's almost as if he's the real one. If I didn't know Yi Man had escaped, I'm afraid I would have really mistaken him for Yi Man. He's Yi Man? The devil cultivator who killed 23 outer court disciples? Devil cultivators are ticking time bombs. In my opinion, the sect should set a rule to not accept devil cultivators. That's right. As long as we set this rule, we'll be able to put an end to such incidents. Many Moon Illumination sect's disciples discussed among themselves. Even some inner court disciples had lingering fear on their faces when they mentioned devil cultivators. Hermph, all of you are discriminating against devil cultivators. So what if he's a devil cultivator? Look at me. When have I ever suffered from chi deviation? Moreover, don't forget that there are 2 devil cultivators among the few saint stage powerhouses in the sect. What do you think of devil cultivators by discriminating against them? An inner court disciple who was a devil cultivator said with dissatisfaction. The group of Moon Illumination sect's disciples fell silent immediately. That was right. Among the few saint stage powerhouses in the sect, there were 2 devil cultivators. It was obviously impossible for the sect to set a rule to not accept devil cultivators. What happened next was very straightforward. One of the Moon Illumination sect's enforcement elders personally killed Yi Man. After killing Yi Man, he looked around and said in a deep voice, the sect has never rejected devil cultivators because we value their cultivation speed and extraordinary combat strength. However, a devil cultivator is still a devil cultivator. To the sect, it's a double-edged sword. The sect has been using this double-edged sword very well until recently, when an anomaly like Yi Man appeared. Duan Lingtian felt like dozing off when he heard the enforcement elder's words. It was just too official. Duan Lingtian could guess what he was going to say next, even if he did not listen. It must be a warning to the other devil cultivators. I'd like to warn all the devil cultivators in the sect to avoid suffering from chi deviation when cultivating. Even if there's a risk of chi deviation, you must leave the sect and take the risk. Otherwise, if you cause any trouble in the sect, Yi Man will be your example. Just as Duan Lingtian had expected, the enforcement elder's words were a warning to the devil cultivators present on the scene. His meaning was simple. Devil cultivators like you should leave the sect to cultivate if you're not confident. In that case, even if you suffer from chi deviation, it would not affect the sect. However, if you were to suffer from chi deviation in the sect and kill someone, only death would await you. One must admit that the enforcement elder's words were very effective. The group of devil cultivators' faces turned solemn immediately. With Yi Man as an example, they did not dare to be careless. Just like that, Yi Man's matter came to an end. The Moon Illumination sect gradually regained its peace. With Bai Li Hong's position in the Moon Illumination sect, it only took him a few days to get Duan Lingtian an inner court disciple identity token. Meanwhile, Duan Lingtian had officially entered the Moon Illumination sect's inner court and stayed in Bai Li Hong's mansion. Due to Bai Li Hong, not many inner court disciples dared to offend Duan Lingtian even though he had just entered the inner court. In the following days, Duan Lingtian entered the 3rd level of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda and greedily absorbed the heaven and earth spirit energy in the air and saint stones to raise his cultivation base. He was eager to break through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage. Once he broke through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage, it would mean that he would master the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique. At that time, his strength would have a qualitative leap. Once I master the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique, I'm confident I'll be able to defeat a Perfection Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. As for a Paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse, it's hard to say. After all, they've mastered the true energy consolidated territory technique. Duan Lingtian had witnessed how terrifying the true energy consolidated territory was. The assassin suspected to be from the Mountain Shade Black Market had consolidated the Blood Devil's territory and easily blocked him when he used the 3-star Divine Strider talisman. Every Blood Devil in the Blood Devil's territory was extremely powerful. I wonder what kind of territory I'll master after I break through to the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. Duan Lingtian was looking forward to it. If he could choose the True Energy Consolidated Weapon and True Energy Consolidated Beast technique, he could choose the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique. However, he had no choice in the True Energy Consolidated Territory technique, since it was usually a gift from the heavens. Naturally, it was a territory that he could use as he wished. Just like the assassin suspected to be from the Mountain Shade Black Market earlier, he was a devil cultivator and had mastered the Blood Devil's territory. It was a territory that was very suitable for him. While Duan Lingtian was cultivating diligently, the Moon Illumination sect's inner court elder, Lu Huan, had also returned to Han River City and arrived at the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. The purpose of his visit was simple. He wanted to ask the people from the Mountain Shade Black Market if he had failed his mission. What should he do if he had failed? Did I really fail? Although he was mentally prepared, Lu Huan's face that was hidden under the grimacing mask was still grave when he learned that he had failed his mission. Dear customer, we've underestimated your target. According to the Mountain Shade Black Markets rules, we can refund you twice the commission. The Mountain Shade Black Markets man said to Lu Huan apologetically. In other words, if Lu Huan had spent 10,000 6th grade Saint Stones to buy Duan Lingtian's life, he would have earned another 10,000 6th grade Saint Stones for nothing. However, Lu Huan was not happy about it at all. What if I want to continue this mission? Lu Huan asked again. At this moment, he thought the people sent by the Mountain Shade Black Market were too weak. That was why they had failed. If you want to continue this mission, you don't have to pay more commission. All you need to do is to stay in the Mountain Shade Black Market for a while longer. The Mountain Shade Black Markets man said, All right, I want to continue this mission. I hope you can send someone stronger this time. Don't disappoint me. When Lu Huan reached the end of his sentence, there was a hint of dissatisfaction in his tone. Don't worry, dear customer. We, the Mountain Shade Black Market, will definitely not disappoint you a second time. The Mountain Shade Black Markets man said. After Lu Huan left, the 2 high-ranking officials of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district gathered in a room in the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch because of Lu Huan's mission. These 2 high-ranking officials were Yin Yang and Tai Wu. Yin Yang was one of the people in charge of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in Han River City. He was usually in charge of handling various affairs. Tai Wu, on the other hand, was the trump card of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. He was usually on duty in the various branches of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. Chapter 1511. Let's continue with the mission that Qi Ming failed. Yin Yang looked at Tai Wu and said, All right. Tai Wu nodded. This time, you won't let a 3-star assassin make a move again, right? Although Qi Ming isn't the best among the 3-star assassins, he's still one of the best. Since he failed and was killed, it's only natural that I won't let a 3-star assassin make a move again. This time, I'm going to let Qi Mei make a move. Yin Yang's cloudy eyes suddenly lit up as he spoke clearly. Some time ago, he had specially returned to the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch to verify that Qi Ming's soul pearl had shattered. The time it shattered was when he was carrying out the mission. The shattering of the soul pearl also meant that he was dead. Qi Mei? Tai Wu was surprised. As far as I know, Qi Mei is already considered a top-notch trump card in the branch, right? She has never failed to kill a target below the Saint stage. That's right. Qi Mei is one of the trump cards in our branch in the 9 Sect Alliances district. She's a quasi 4-star assassin. Yin Yang nodded. In the Mountain Shade Black Market, quasi 4-star assassins usually had the strength of an imminent Saint stage. Since they were assassins, they usually would not make a move directly. Whenever they made a move, it would be a surprise move. For this reason, the quasi 4-star assassins in the Mountain Shade Black Market usually had the strength to kill an imminent saint stage powerhouse. Naturally, not all imminent saint stage powerhouses could be killed. Some half-step Saint Realm experts were so powerful that they could stand shoulder to shoulder with weaker Saint Realm experts due to various reasons. It would be difficult for a quasi-4-star assassin to kill these imminent saint stage powerhouses. However, such imminent saint stage powerhouses usually did not exist in the 9 Sect Alliances district. Usually, such imminent saint stage powerhouses would only appear among the young talents from 5th-rate forces, 4th-rate forces, and even more powerful forces. If Duan Lingtian had the cultivation base of an imminent saint stage powerhouse in the future, he would naturally belong to this category as well. His innate talent and potential were not inferior to those young talents from the powerful forces. With Qimei making a move, this mission should be a success, Taiwu said. Based on his words, it seemed like he was confident in the quasi-4-star assassin, Qimei. Other than being a quasi-4-star assassin, Qimei was also a woman. This woman was also the only female quasi-4-star assassin in the Mountain Shade Black Market's regional branch in the 9 Sect Alliances. Apart from that, she was also widely acknowledged as the strongest quasi-4-star assassin in the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch. No one had ever seen Qimei's true face. Even Yin Yang and Taiwu had only seen Qimei's graceful figure under a black cloak. Regardless of the fact that Qimei's face was covered by her black clothes, just her devilish figure was enough to make any man drool. However, even Taiwu and Yin Yang did not dare to have any thoughts about Qimei. This was because the person behind Qimei was the leader of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances. As for the relationship between Qimei and the Mountain Shade Black Markets leader, it was a mystery to everyone. Most likely, only Qimei and the leader of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch knew the answer to this. However, there were still many people from the Mountain Shade Black Market who were discussing and speculating in private. Some said that Qimei was the leader's woman. Some said that Qimei was the leader's illegitimate daughter. Some even said that Qimei was the leader's granddaughter. No matter what, Qimei's origin was still a mystery. It was a mystery that made people curious but unable to solve. Although the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in Han River City was the main branch, it was not the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch's lair. The Mountain Shade Black Markets branch's lair was located deep in the mountains north of Han River City. It was hidden behind layers of illusory formations. Apart from the Mountain Shade Black Market's high-ranking officials and some ace assassins who knew how to enter this place, the rest of the people in the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch could not even enter, let alone know about this place. The illusory formation in the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch's lair was mysterious and unpredictable. It was jointly set up by a 4-star Saint Inscription Master and a 4-star Dao Talisman Master. Naturally, this did not mean that the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch had a 4-star Saint Inscription Master and a 4-star Dao Talisman Master. This was because the 4-star Saint Inscription Master and a 4-star Dao Talisman Master who set up the formation were sent by the Mountain Shade Black Market's higher-ranking branch. They only set up the formation for the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 Sect Alliances. After setting up the formation, they left. Even an ordinary Saint Stage powerhouse would find it extremely difficult to enter this illusory formation. Through the layers of illusory formations, one could see that in the depths of the mountains, there was a huge valley surrounded by independent mansions. At first glance, these mansions were everywhere in the mountains. Whoosh! Without warning, a sharp arrow carrying a jade token flew through the air and finally nailed itself on a wooden plaque in the front courtyard of a mansion halfway up the mountain. Whoosh! Almost at the same instant when the sharp arrow nailed itself on the wooden plaque, a delicate purple sparrow appeared out of thin air. It opened its mouth and bit the sharp arrow, easily pulling it out from the wooden plaque. The entire process was extremely easy. Whoosh! The purple sparrow disappeared into thin air and reappeared in the backyard of the mansion. The backyard was surrounded by clouds and mist. It was obvious that a formation had been set up. This formation had completely blocked the view from the outside. Naturally, it was extremely clear when one looked from the inside. At this moment, a young lady was sitting next to the small lake in the backyard. Her lotus root-like, jade-like feet were gently stirring the water in the lake. Her peerlessly beautiful face seemed to be in deep thought. No one knew what she was thinking about. Sister, sister. The young lady only snapped back to her senses when the purple sparrow appeared and spoke in human language. She conveniently took the sharp arrow from the purple sparrow's mouth. After tossing the sharp arrow away and leaving only the jade token behind, the young lady extended her spiritual energy and merged with it. Soon after, the information in the jade token surged into her mind. Moon Illumination Sect, Duan Lingtian, Saint Rudiment stage? He was only at the perfection mortal shedding stage a few months ago. There's actually such a monstrous martial Dao prodigy in this godforsaken place? The young lady was a little surprised. Asking me to attack such a target, are those 3-star assassins trash? Unknowingly, the young lady began to frown. However, when she sorted out all the information in her mind, her brows relaxed again. Qiming actually failed? Interesting. Zier, it seems like we'll have to go out for a while. The young lady's last sentence was obviously directed at the purple sparrow. Hee. Finally, there's a mission. Sister, leave the target to me this time. I'll definitely do it well. The purple sparrow hovered in front of the young lady and swore as it flapped its wings. We'll see when the time comes. The young lady smiled faintly. In my opinion, that Moon Illumination Sect's disciple called Duan Lingtian must have someone protecting him. That person must be the 3-star Saint Inscription Master from the Moon Illumination Sect, Bai Li Hong. He's comparable to an imminent saint stage powerhouse if he uses all his techniques. Sister, why don't I give you the target and leave Bai Li Hong to me? Upon hearing the young lady's words, the purple sparrow immediately changed its words. Based on its words, it seemed like it did not take Bai Li Hong, who was comparable to an imminent saint stage powerhouse, seriously. If you're going to nag again, you'd better stay at home obediently. The young lady frowned and glared at the purple sparrow. The latter was so shocked that it immediately shut its mouth, not daring to make any more noise. When the young lady walked into the room and came out again, her entire body was covered in a layer of black clothes. That peerlessly beautiful face was now completely covered up, not revealing the slightest bit. However, the lady's devilish figure was enough to make other women feel ashamed of their inferiority and men drool over her. Soon after, the lady vanished into thin air. The purple sparrow disappeared along with her as well. There was a remote mountain range 10,000 miles west of the cluster of mountains where the mountain shade Black Market's branch's lair was located. The mountain range looked barren from afar. Not a single blade of grass grew on it. It was as though it was a land of extinction. At this moment, there was a slightly wretched figure who was holding a pearl tightly in her hand as she made her way to the depths of the mountain range. Brother, now that the Ouyang clan and father are gone, you don't have to continue being punished anymore. I'll go get you now. The owner of the wretched figure was also a young lady. If Duan Lingtian was here, he would definitely be able to recognize that this young lady was none other than the Ouyang clan's second young miss, Ouyang Ruo. Ouyang Ruo should have died along with the Ouyang clan. However, she was lucky because she happened to be outside and managed to escape the disaster. Although she managed to escape the disaster, her days were not easy. She had to evade the mountain shade Black Market's assassins all the way before she finally left Han River City in a panic. The direction Ouyang Ruo was heading in was the direction of the Ouyang clan's nether ridge that had been passed down since ancient times. Her purpose was simple, which was to look for her brother in the nether ridge. If the clan leader of Ouyang clan, Ouyang Ba, was still alive and knew about Ouyang Ruo's thoughts, he would definitely smile wryly. This was because Ouyang Ruo was too naive. Naturally, Ouyang Ruo could not be blamed for this. This was because there were not many people in the Ouyang clan who knew about the nether ridge. The nether ridge was a bottomless abyss. Unless one came out of it, death would be the only way out for them. Moreover, the pearl in Ouyang Ruo's hand was the soul pearl of her brother, Ouyang Qing. She had taken it from the Ouyang clan's ancestral shrine after the Ouyang clan was annihilated. That day, when she sneaked into the Ouyang clan's ancestral shrine, most of the soul pearls inside had already shattered. Only a few soul pearls belonging to the lineal disciples who were not in the Ouyang clan were left. In the Ouyang clan, only the lineal disciples were qualified to possess a soul pearl. Chapter 1512. 2 months went by in just a blink of an eye. On this day, Duan Lingtian left the third level of the Seven Treasures exquisite pagoda and walked out of his room with a bright smile on his face. One could see that Duan Lingtian was in a good mood. "I've finally broken through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage." After letting out a sigh of relief, the smile on Duan Lingtian's face gradually faded away. However, there was still a faint smile on his face. Although 2 months had passed in the outside world, 10 months had passed in the third level of the Seven Treasures exquisite pagoda. In these 10 months, apart from cultivating the Saint-grade martial tactic, Duan Lingtian's attention was mostly focused on cultivating his cultivation base. He had also successfully broken through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage. However, after breaking through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage, Duan Lingtian realized he could no longer use the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique. Duan Lingtian had asked Bai Lihong about the True Energy Consolidated Weapon and learned that the True Energy Consolidated Weapon was an independent weapon that could be condensed from one's true energy as one wished. As for what kind of weapon it was, it depended on the person who cast it. One could condense it into an arrow this time or a saber the next time. One could do it as one wished without any restrictions. Naturally, among the 3 great techniques mastered by a Paramount Saint Rudiment stage martial cultivator, only the True Energy Consolidated Weapon was not restricted. Once the True Energy Consolidated Beast was formed, it could not be changed. If one wanted to condense a beast using one's true energy, one could condense it using the blood essence of a wild beast or a saint beast. It could also be condensed using one's imagination. However, the True Energy Consolidated Beast condensed using one's imagination was far less powerful than the True Energy Consolidated Beast condensed using one's blood essence. The former only had the appearance and form, while the latter had both the appearance and form. In fact, it even had the power. Up until now, almost all of the True Energy Consolidated Beasts Duan Lingtian had seen were the former. This was because it was extremely difficult to obtain the blood essence of a wild beast or a saint beast. The True Energy Consolidated Beast required beast blood essence as well. It had to be a beast with a high-grade bloodline such as dragons and phoenixes. Otherwise, it had to be a beast at the Perfection Saint Rudiment stage or above. Therefore, unless one had an extraordinary background and had an expert extract the essence blood of beasts for them, very few people could use the essence blood of beasts as a foundation to master the True Energy Condensed Beast technique. I've already merged with the 5-clawed Devil Dragon's blood essence. As long as I break through to the Perfection Saint Rudiment stage, I'll be able to consolidate the 5-clawed Devil Dragon with my true energy. Duan Lingtian was looking forward to it. His True Energy Consolidated Beast technique was based on the blood essence of the 5-clawed Devil Dragon. Its power was extraordinary, enough to crush 99% of the True Energy Consolidated Beasts of martial and Dao cultivators of the same level. It wasn't impossible for him to defeat someone of a higher cultivation realm than him. Soon, Duan Lingtian discovered that after leaving the Seven Treasures exquisite pagoda, he had condensed his genuine qi into a sword with a single thought. A huge sword was suspended in the air in front of him. With a single thought, the huge sword soared through the air with a series of sonic booms. It seems like I can't use the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique in the Seven Treasures exquisite pagoda. Duan Lingtian sighed in relief. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to use the True Energy Consolidated Weapon technique. If that happened, he would lose a huge advantage in a battle with other martial and Dao cultivators of the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage or above. True Energy Consolidated Weapon? Just as Duan Lingtian was playing with the various weapons formed by his genuine qi in the air and seemed to have forgotten the time, a cry of surprise came from outside. Upon hearing the voice, Duan Lingtian knew it was Bai Lihong. Senior brother. With a single thought, Duan Lingtian dispersed the spear formed by his genuine qi. He looked at Bai Lihong and greeted him with a smile. However, Bai Lihong did not respond to him. His eyes were fixed on Duan Lingtian, as though this was the first time he had met Duan Lingtian. Although he knew Duan Lingtian had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage, he thought Duan Lingtian was only at the early Saint Rudiment stage. He did not expect Duan Lingtian to give him such a big surprise when he had only returned to the sect for 2 months. Instead of calling it a surprise, it would be more accurate to call it a shock. Less than 6 months ago, he was only a martial cultivator at the perfection mortal shedding stage. Now, he was already at the mastery saint rudiment stage. If it was before, he would not have believed there was such a monstrous person in the world even if he was beaten to death. Senior brother, you're looking for me? Naturally, Duan Lingtian knew what was on Bai Li Hong's mind when he saw him staring at him in a daze. However, he was more curious about why Bai Li Hong was looking for him. If it was not for something, Bai Li Hong would not have come here so coincidentally. At this moment, Bai Li Hong finally regained his senses. However, he did not respond to Duan Lingtian immediately. Instead, he studied Duan Lingtian from head to toe. After a while, he finally said, "Freak." Although it was not his first time hearing someone call him that, Duan Lingtian could not help but smile wryly when he saw Bai Li Hong, an inner court elder of the Moon Illumination sect, calling him that. Junior brother, how did you cultivate? It's only been less than 6 months, but you've already broken through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage and mastered the True Energy Consolidated Weapon Technique. Although Bai Li Hong knew this was Duan Lingtian's secret, he still could not help but ask. Naturally, he was already mentally prepared that Duan Lingtian would not be able to tell him. After all, everyone had their own secrets. He just could not help but ask. He did not necessarily want an answer. Senior brother, would you believe me if I broke through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage from the Perfection Mortal Shedding stage in less than 6 months? Duan Lingtian asked with a smile as he shook his head in response to Bai Li Hong. Of course, I didn't believe it before this. However, the truth is right in front of me now. How can I not believe it? Bai Li Hong smiled wryly. What if I say I know a secret tactic that can conceal my cultivation base from being detected by the spiritual secret tactic? Duan Lingtian asked with a smile. Bai Li Hong was stunned when he heard Duan Lingtian's words. It was not that he had not thought of such a possibility, but he had never heard of such a secret tactic before. I see. Bai Li Hong sighed in relief. Although this secret tactic also shocked him, it was not as shocking as the fact that Duan Lingtian had broken through to the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage from the Perfection Mortal Shedding stage in less than 6 months. In comparison, he was more willing to accept this explanation. Duan Lingtian sighed in relief when he saw that Bai Li Hong believed his explanation. At this moment, he still felt a little guilty. After all, Bai Li Hong was sincere to him, but he had lied to him. Naturally, he knew he had to do this. The 7 Treasures exquisite pagoda was his biggest secret. If it was exposed, he would be doomed eternally. Naturally, he believed Bai Li Hong would not tell anyone even if he knew the truth. However, sometimes, it did not mean he would not tell anyone even if he did not want to. Not to mention anything else, just in terms of psychic power, there were many psychic power secret techniques that could directly pry into other people's souls and know all of their thoughts and thoughts. These psychic power secret techniques were often impossible to guard against. Once one was affected by these spiritual energy secret tactics, it was impossible to keep the secret. Due to this reason, Duan Lingtian chose to keep it a secret. He believed he was keeping it a secret for Bai Li Hong's sake. Junior brother, I've been coming to your place since half a month ago. Every time I came, I saw you were in seclusion, so I didn't disturb you. Bai Li Hong said, You've been looking for me for half a month? Duan Lingtian asked in surprise. Senior brother, is there anything urgent? Yes. Bai Li Hong nodded. Aren't you interested in all kinds of rare and strange materials? This time, you'll have a chance to come into contact with the sect storehouse. By then, with my help, I'm sure you'll be able to get the materials you want. He had also heard about how Duan Lingtian was looking for materials in Han River City. After he heard about it, he had his eyes on the Moon Illumination sect storehouse. Unfortunately, although he was an inner court elder of the Moon Illumination sect and had an extraordinary position in the sect, it was still difficult for him to come into contact with the Moon Illumination sect storehouse. This was because the Moon Illumination sect storehouse was usually only open to outstanding young disciples. Usually, even the sect leader would not come into contact with the storehouse directly. The sect storehouse? Duan Lingtian had a puzzled expression on his face. What's that? The sect storehouse is where all kinds of rare and strange items are kept. The items there are passed down from generations in the sect, And there's no lack of dusty treasures, Bai Li Hong explained. However, only the outstanding inner court disciples in the sect are allowed to enter that place, and it's only opened once a year. In that case, it's going to open this year? After listening to Bai Li Hong's explanation, Duan Lingtian was also interested in the Moon Illumination sect storehouse. He could faintly sense that it was a treasure trove that had never been excavated before. Yes. Chapter 15:13. Inner Court Disciple Below the Age of 40? Upon hearing Bai Li Hong's words, Duan Lingtian smiled nonchalantly. He looked calm as though he did not feel pressured at all. With his current strength, let alone inner court disciples below the age of 40 in the Moon Illumination sect, he was not even afraid of those inner court disciples with extraordinary strength who were in the top echelon of the inner court. With his current strength, he dared not say he could defeat a paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. However, as long as those powerhouses on the perfection Saint Rudiment stage were not particularly monstrous, they would not be a match for him. Therefore, the annual hunting assessment held by the Moon Illumination sect was just a formality in his opinion. Yes. Bai Li Hong nodded and smiled. The hunting assessment this time is just a formality to you, junior brother. With your strength, it'll be a piece of cake for you to get the first place in the hunting assessment. Based on his words, he was confident in Duan Lingtian. With Duan Lingtian's cultivation base at the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage, none of the inner court disciples below the age of 40 in the Moon Illumination sect could compare to him. Even the inner court disciples below the age of 40 in the Moon Illumination sect who had a cultivation base at the intermediate Saint Rudiment stage were considered to be extremely talented. Duan Lingtian's achievement was far ahead of them. I've already signed you up on my own accord. We'll depart in 10 days and head to the place where the hunting assessment will be held. I'll go with you, Bai Li Hong said. Senior brother, you're going with us? Duan Lingtian was a little surprised. Yes, I've asked the sect leader for a patroller identity to prevent anyone from cheating in the hunting assessment. Bai Li Hong smiled. Isn't the sect leader afraid that you'll help me cheat? Duan Lingtian laughed as well as he joked. With your cultivation base, why would you need me to help you cheat, junior brother? Moreover, even if I help you cheat, the sect leader won't say anything. Bai Li Hong's words were filled with confidence. Among the inner court elders in the Moon Illumination sect, he was the only one who had the confidence to say such words. Not to mention the other inner court elders, even the vice sect leader did not have the confidence to say such words. Duan Lingtian was not surprised by this. Not only was his senior brother an inner court elder of the Moon Illumination sect, but he was also the only 3-star Saint Inscription Master in the Moon Illumination sect. His position was so high that it was even higher than the few vice sect leaders of the Moon Illumination sect. Even the Saint Realm experts, including the sect master, had to give face to his senior brother. To the Duan Lingtian who had entered the 3rd level of the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda, 10 days was equivalent to 50 days. 50 days was enough for him to do a lot of things. Now, I've cultivated the Golden Shirt to the highest level, and I've also cultivated the main moves of the Colossal Aerolite Arrow to the 4th level. I'm only one step away from the 5th level, which is the highest level, impeccable refinement. Duan Lingtian muttered to himself. Apart from that, the offensive move, Gargantuan Mountain, in the Golden Rock Mass tactic has also improved a lot. In these 50 days, I'll focus on cultivating the Aerolite Strike and Body and Arrow Synchronization in the Colossal Aerolite Arrow. After I've cultivated both of them to the highest level, the impeccable refinement, I'll cultivate the Aerolite Shower as well. The Aerolite Shower was one of the offensive moves in the Colossal Aerolite Arrow. At the same time, it was also the foundation of the most powerful move in the Colossal Aerolite Arrow, the Colossal Arrow Bell. Only by cultivating the Aerolite Shower to the highest level could he start cultivating the Colossal Arrow Bell with the Aerolite Shower as the foundation. Although they were both defensive moves, the strength of the Colossal Arrow Bell was not something the Golden Shirt could compare to. The Golden Shirt was a move that was on par with the Aerolite Shower, while the Colossal Arrow Bell was a powerful defensive move that was comparable to the defensive moves in the Earth Rank Saint Grade Martial Tactic. On the other hand, the Earth Rank Saint Grade Martial Tactic could only be cultivated by those at the Saint stage and above. Due to this reason, Duan Lingtian had always been looking forward to cultivating the colossal arrow bell. Due to this reason, he did not neglect cultivating the aerolite shower. Currently, his aerolite shower was not far from breaking through to the 4th stage. Ever since Hualao helped me raise my cultivation base to the intermediate Saint Rudiment stage, I feel like it's much easier for me to cultivate the Saint grade martial tactic. It feels like I've been enlightened. The things that were difficult for me in the past have also become easier to understand. Duan Lingtian had long noticed this. He had even asked Hualao about it. However, Hualao's answer was only 4 words. Sun body. Duan Lingtian did not know much about the sun body. All he knew was that Hualao had said his current body was the sun body. As for what was special about the sun body, Hualao did not say much about it. He only asked Duan Lingtian to discover it himself. Up until now, he had only discovered the special thing about cultivating the Saint grade martial tactic being faster. However, this special thing was enough to make Duan Lingtian feel shocked and excited. According to Hualao, there are still many secrets about the sun body. I wonder how many surprises are waiting for me. When Duan Lingtian thought about this, he felt an inexplicable excitement in his heart. 50 days was not short, but it was not long either. Under Duan Lingtian's diligent cultivation, 50 days of time passed by quickly, and as he wished, he also cultivated meteor strike and body and arrow synchronization to the highest level. Apart from that, he had also cultivated the aerolite shower to the 4th level. It was only 1 step away from the highest level. Once he took another step, he would be able to officially cultivate the colossal arrow bell. When he had cultivated the aerolite shower to the 4th level, the 50 days in the 3rd level of the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda were about to pass. At this moment, Duan Lingtian left the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. It was already late at night outside. The next day was the time to depart to the hunting assessment held by the Moon Illumination sect. This night, Duan Lingtian did not return to the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. Instead, he sat on the bed in his room and rested with his eyes closed. However, his thoughts had already drifted away. I'll return to Half Moon Island after my cultivation base has broken through to the perfection mortal shedding stage. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. He believed that with the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda, it would only take him 3 months to break through to the perfection mortal shedding stage. Naturally, 3 months referred to the 3 months in the outside world. 3 months in the outside world meant 15 months in the 3rd level of the 7 treasures exquisite pagoda. In other words, it was 1 year and 3 months. My children are going to be born soon. Duan Lingtian was inexplicably excited when he thought of this. The excitement was even more intense than when his cultivation base had broken through. Once the 2 children were born, it would mean that he would be a father. This was something he did not dare to imagine in his past life. In his past life, he was a mercenary who walked in the dark and licked the blood off his blade. Even he did not know what would happen in the next moment. Due to this reason, he had never thought of getting married and having children in his past life. However, in this life, he was going to have children soon. Moreover, it was 2 children. The moment he thought of this, Duan Lingtian was even more anxious to return to Half Moon Island. The next morning, Duan Lingtian met up with Bai Li Hong. Both of them left together and met up with the main group. The hunting assessment this time was personally hosted by a vice sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect. Apart from the vice sect leader, there were 3 other inner court elders who were patrolling envoys. Bai Li Hong was one of them. Originally, with Bai Li Hong's identity, it would only take him a few words to host the hunting assessment. However, he did not like hosting. He only wanted to be an idle patrolling envoy. Elder Bai Li, as soon as they met up with the main group, Duan Lingtian saw a sturdy old man walking towards him and Bai Li Hong. He greeted Bai Li Hong enthusiastically. The sturdy old man was tall like a small mountain. When he walked over, it was as if a mountain was moving over, giving people an invisible pressure. Vice sect leader Zhong. Bai Li Hong nodded in response to the sturdy old man. His words revealed the person's identity. It was none other than Zhong Hua, one of the vice sect leaders of the Moon Illumination sect who was hosting the hunting assessment this time. This must be Elder Bai Li's junior brother Duan Lingtian, right? Soon after, Zhong Hua looked at Duan Lingtian and asked with a smile. Vice sect leader. Duan Lingtian quickly responded to Zhonghua. However, he felt a little uncomfortable. Zhonghua in front of him looked harmless, and there was nothing strange about him. However, for some reason, Duan Lingtian felt uncomfortable. Not only that, but Duan Lingtian could even faintly sense hostility from Zhonghua. Naturally, the hostility was very weak. It was so weak that he did not know if he was mistaken. Logically speaking, this was the first time he had met Zhonghua. Zhonghua shouldn't be hostile toward him. Junior brother, this Zhonghua is the master of the outer court disciple, He Zhong, whom you defeated earlier. At this moment, Bai Li Hong's true energy voice transmission pierced Duan Lingtian's eardrums. At once, it dispelled Duan Lingtian's doubts. He realized he was not mistaken. So, he's He Zhong's master. Duan Lingtian finally understood. Since he was He Zhong's master, it was normal for him to be hostile to him. He Zhong was Lu Huan's nephew. Previously, he was defeated by Duan Lingtian. He was even forced by Duan Lingtian to swear on the lightning penalty oath that he would never go against Duan Lingtian again. When Duan Lingtian glanced behind Zhonghua, he noticed He Zhong was among the group of people behind him. He Zhong has also become an inner court disciple? Duan Lingtian was stunned. He was not surprised that He Zhong had become an inner court disciple. With He Zhong's master, the vice sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect, it would only take him a few words to make an exception for He Zhong to enter the inner court. Chapter 15-14. When Duan Lingtian probed He Zhong's cultivation base, He Zhong was also looking at Duan Lingtian with a complicated gaze. To a certain extent, the reason he could break through to the Saint Rudiment stage so quickly was partly because of Duan Lingtian. The reason he said it was because of Duan Lingtian was because he had heard that Duan Lingtian had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage 3 months ago. Because of this, he had suffered a huge blow and felt pressured. As the saying went, where there's pressure, there's motivation. Under this invisible pressure, He Zhong had successfully broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage a month ago. After he had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage, he had officially become vice sect leader Zhonghua's disciple. At this moment, the group of outer court disciples finally realized that He Zhong was not secretly taken in by Lu Huan. Instead, he was the direct disciple of vice sect leader Zhonghua. However, due to the shock that Duan Lingtian had given them, they were somewhat immune to it. Therefore, they were not too shocked by this matter. After all, Duan Lingtian had directly become elder by Li Hong's junior brother. Who was elder by Li Hong? He was the publicly acknowledged #1 inner court elder in the Moon Illumination sect. His position was so high that it was even higher than the few vice sect leaders. Not only that, even the few saint stage powerhouses in the Moon Illumination sect, including the sect leader, had to be polite to elder by Li Hong and treat him as an equal. From the moment Duan Lingtian became Bai Li Hong's junior brother, Duan Lingtian's seniority in the Moon Illumination sect had unknowingly increased. Even He Zhong's master, Zhonghua, one of the vice sect leaders of the Moon Illumination sect, had to address Duan Lingtian as junior brother out of respect for Bai Li Hong when he faced him. I can only hope that uncle can completely let go of the thought of going against Duan Lingtian and not brush me off. He Zhong thought to himself. Previously, when he heard that Duan Lingtian had become Bai Li Hong's junior brother, the little bit of resentment he had toward Duan Lingtian had completely vanished. As for the matter from before, he had completely thrown it to the back of his mind. He knew he would only be troubled by it if he kept it in his mind. This time, he was able to break through to the Saint Rudiment stage faster than he expected because of Duan Lingtian. To a certain extent, he was still grateful toward Duan Lingtian. He Zhong, congratulations. Duan Lingtian took the initiative to greet He Zhong through voice transmission True Energy Voice. When He Zhong heard it, he was stunned. Zhong Hu at Duan Lingtian's congratulation. He Zhong Huai, S's Lingtian was obviously referring at him. He was at him. Duan Lingtian was master. He Lingtian. However, until now, it seemed like only he and his master knew that he had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage. He had never revealed his current cultivation base to the outside world. However, Duan Lingtian had seen through it with just a glance. At once, He felt like he had nowhere to hide in front of Duan Lingtian. You can tell? After taking a deep breath, Hezhong could not help but ask through true energy voice transmission. Duan Lingtian did not reply. He merely smiled back at Hezhong. It was a mysterious smile in Hezhong's eyes. At this moment, in Hezhong's heart, Duan Lingtian's danger level had increased by a few levels. Soon after, the other two inner court elders who were the patrollers of the hunting assessment also took the initiative to greet Bai Li Hong. Their attitudes were extremely warm. Elder Bai Li, at this moment, the group of inner court disciples, including Hezhong, also greeted Bai Li Hong respectfully, junior brother Duan. Soon after, the two inner court elders looked at Duan Lingtian and took the initiative to greet him. This scene made the group of inner court disciples envious. However, there was nothing they could do. After all, not only did Duan Lingtian have a high martial Dao innate talent, but he also had a good life. Now that he had a senior brother like Bai Li Hong, he could do whatever he wanted in the Moon Illumination sect. Let's go. As soon as Bai Li Hong spoke, Zhonghua gave the order. The group of people walked out of the Moon Illumination sect's monastery gate in a mighty manner. After leaving the Moon Illumination sect's monastery gate, the group of people soared into the sky and headed to the place where the hunting assessment was held. Not long after the group of people left, in a spacious mansion in the inner court of the Moon Illumination sect, Lu Huan sat in front of the stone table in the courtyard and tapped the table lightly. Duan Lingtian should be participating in the hunting assessment now, right? This is a good opportunity. I only hope the Mountain Shade Black Market won't disappoint me again. Lu Huan's eyes flashed with killing intent as he muttered to himself. Also, there's that Feng Hui. After so many years, it's time for me to put an end to the feud between us. Initially, I thought he wouldn't be able to cause any trouble even if I let him live. I can't believe he actually took such a monstrous genius like Duan Lingtian as his disciple. A sharp glint flashed across Lu Huan's eyes as killing intent shot out. After a while, he stood up and was ready to leave. Master! At this moment, a figure walked toward him. It was none other than Su Qi. Su Qi was holding a plate with a bowl of soup in his hand. This is the clear jade soup that I made for you. Please eat it while it's still hot, master. You're the one who's thoughtful. That rascal Zhou Qi has never made a bowl of soup for me. Lu Huan was very satisfied with this disciple before him. Ever since he became his disciple, not only did he cultivate diligently, but he would also personally make a bowl of soup for him every few days. Moreover, it was different every time. After drinking the soup that Su Qi handed to him, Lu Huan's eyes gleamed as a new idea popped up in his mind. Su Qi, come with me for a while. Lu Huan said to Su Qi. Yes. Su Qi did not ask where Lu Huan was going and agreed to it right away. Aren't you going to ask me where I'm bringing you? Lu Huan asked. I'll go wherever you want me to go, master. I won't even frown if it's a mountain of swords or a volcano, Su Qi said seriously. Lu Huan nodded. Haha, good. The worst thing that I, Lu Huan, did in my life was to take that rascal Zhou Qi as my disciple. The best thing that I did was to take you as my disciple. Lu Huan laughed out loud. He was very satisfied with Su Qi's answer. Let's go. I'll bring you back to Mount Hill City. The moment Lu Huan's words left his mouth, he left the room. Mount Hill City. Su Qi's heart skipped a beat when he heard Lu Huan's words. He could faintly guess what Lu Huan was going to do. He also realized that all of this was closely related to Duan Lingtian's rise. However, after taking a deep breath, Su Qi still followed Lu Huan. Some time ago, the news of Duan Lingtian becoming the junior brother of Bai Li Hong, the inner court elder of Moon Illumination sect, had spread to the city governor's estate of Mount Hill City. Feng Hui, the city governor of Mount Hill City, was stunned for a long time before he finally regained his senses. He's actually taken his elder Bai Li Hong's junior brother? Feng Hui was shocked and surprised at the same time. In the end, he laughed out loud with joy on his face. In the end, 2 streams of tears rolled down his cheeks. Those were tears of joy. As the outer court deacon of the Moon Illumination sect, Feng Hui used to be a disciple of the Moon Illumination sect. Naturally, he knew who Elder Bai Li Hong was. He was someone that even the sect leader of Moon Illumination sect had to treat with respect. In the past, Elder Bai Li Hong was an insurmountable lofty mountain that he had to lift his head to look at. Moreover, when he first met Elder Bai Li Hong, he did not even dare to breathe loudly for fear that he would upset Elder Bai Li Hong. Now, he learned that his disciple, Duan Lingtian, had been taken as a junior brother by Elder Bai Li Hong. How could he not be surprised? He's broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage? After a while, Feng Hui received another piece of news from the Moon Illumination sect. The news was about Duan Lingtian breaking through to the Saint Rudiment stage. No wonder Elder Bai Li Hong took him as his junior brother. As it turns out, he saw how extraordinary his innate talent is. It's funny that I wanted to take him as my disciple and make him acknowledge me as his master. What a joke. What a joke. Feng Hui's face was filled with self-mockery as he muttered to himself. However, he was more happy for Duan Lingtian. With Elder Bai Li Hong as his backer, Lu Huan shouldn't dare to touch him easily. Ling Yun and Xiong Hu should be safe with him taking care of them. Feng Hui sighed in relief when he thought of this. In the following days, Feng Hui was in a good mood. He felt like the haze that had been accumulating in his heart for many years seemed to have dissipated. Naturally, such days did not last long. Feng Hui. A thunderous voice resonated in the sky above the city governor's estate of Mound Hill City, causing Feng Hui, who was cultivating in his room, to have a drastic change of expression. He was very familiar with this voice. It was so familiar that it was impossible for him to forget it. Lu Huan. Feng Hui's expression was extremely grave as he took a deep breath. He did not expect Lu Huan, who had not taken the initiative to look for him and trample on his master for many years, would come looking for him at this moment. However, he could faintly sense that Lu Huan's sudden visit had something to do with Duan Lingtian. Perhaps Duan Lingtian had pressured him. The moment Feng Hui thought of this, his expression softened a little. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Lu Huan, are you afraid as well? When Feng Hui walked out of his room and stepped into the air, he realized that Lu Huan was not the only person who came. There was another person who was extremely familiar to him. Su Qi. Feng Hui's heart skipped a beat when he saw Su Qi standing next to Lu Huan in the air. Su Qi was originally the disciple that he valued the most. He had an extremely high innate talent. Before Duan Lingtian appeared, he was the one with the highest innate talent among all the young geniuses in Mound Hill City. Due to this reason, he had spent a lot of effort on Su Qi. However, he did not expect that he would end up benefiting Lu Huan in the end. Now that he saw Su Qi standing in the air, he realized that Su Qi had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage. Otherwise, it was impossible for him to ignore the flight-prohibiting formation in the sky above Mound Hill City. The flight-prohibiting formation in Mound Hill City restricted all martial and Dao cultivators below the Saint Rudiment stage. Chapter 15:15. Naturally, Duan Lingtian did not know about the crisis that Feng Hui was facing. He did not expect that Lu Huan would be so desperate to kill his teacher, Feng Hui, after he had made a name for himself several times. At this moment, Duan Lingtian and Bai Li Hong were following the group of people from the Moon Illumination sect to the place where the hunting assessment would be held. It was above a mountain ridge with a steep terrain. Looking from afar, the mountain ridge was so vast that it would make one's jaw drop. This mountain range will be your stage from now on. You can kill the savage beasts as you please in there. However, it's best that you leave a mark on the wild beast after you kill it so that we can verify your results. Zhonghua, the vice-sect leader of the Moon Illumination sect, told the group of inner court disciples including Duan Lingtian. Upon hearing his words, Duan Lingtian and the rest nodded their heads. It seems like I can't destroy the wild beast's body directly. After all, once I destroy the body, I won't be able to prove that I'm the one who killed the wild beast, and I won't be able to prove that I've killed any wild beast. Duan Lingtian thought to himself. While they were still on the way, he had already roughly understood the rules of the hunting assessment this time. In the hunting assessment, the points would be different depending on the strength of the wild beast that was killed. Each of you will take one of these jade tokens. If you encounter any accident, just crush it. At that time, the 3 inner court elders and I will rush to your side immediately. Zhonghua raised his hand and took out several jade tokens before passing them to Duan Lingtian and the rest. However, I still have to remind all of you. Once you crush the jade token, it'll mean the end of the assessment. Even if the assessment time is not up yet, the person who crushed the jade token will have already finished the assessment. What Zhonghua was trying to say was obvious. Unless they were in danger, it was best not to crush the jade token. Apart from Duan Lingtian, who was studying the jade token in his hand thoughtfully, the group of inner court disciples, including He Zhong, nodded their heads in realization. Saint inscription? At this moment, Duan Lingtian also noticed a saint inscription was inscribed on the jade token in his hand. This saint rune was very special. It was neither an offensive saint rune nor an auxiliary saint rune. At the very least, he had never come across such a saint rune before. Senior brother, did you inscribe the saint rune on this jade slip? Duan Lingtian asked Bai Li Hong through a true energy sound transmission. Although he couldn't recognize the saint inscription on the jade slip, he could tell that there were traces of Bai Li Hong in the saint inscription. The words had handwriting, and so did the sacred inscriptions.
Yes.
Junior brother, don't underestimate the saint inscriptions on these jade slips. These saint inscriptions are 3-star saint inscriptions. 3-star saint inscription? Duan Lingtian was shocked when he heard this. However, although this saint inscription is a 3-star saint inscription, it only has a warning effect. Moreover, its cost is extremely low. It's not even comparable to a 2-star saint inscription. Bai Li Hong added. Duan Lingtian suddenly understood. Although the cost is low and it's easy to inscribe, it's still a 3-star saint inscription no matter what. Even the territory of an eminent saint stage powerhouse can't restrict its warning. Of course, it's a different story if it's a saint stage powerhouse. Bai Li Hong continued, it can warn through the territory of an eminent saint stage powerhouse? Duan Lingtian was shocked. However, he no longer dared to underestimate the saint inscription on the jade slip in his hand. All right, all of you can leave now. The 3 inspectors and I will take turns to look after all of you. If all of you encounter any danger, just crush the jade slip, and we'll come to your rescue immediately. Zhonghua, the vice sect leader of Moon Illumination Sect, did not beat around the bush. As for the detailed rules of the hunting assessment, he had already explained them on the way here. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The moment Zhonghua's words left his mouth, the group of inner court disciples flew down one after another and entered the lush mountain range. Their bodies disappeared in just a blink of an eye. It was as though they were stones that had sunk into the sea. Duan Lingtian nodded at Bai Li Hong before he flew down and entered the lush mountain range as well. Elder Bai Li, I think junior brother Duan is the one who's going to participate in the hunting assessment this time. He should be able to get first place. What do you think? After the group of inner court disciples, including Duan Lingtian, entered the lush mountain range, Zhonghua looked at Bai Li Hong and asked with narrowed eyes. Naturally, he asked this question on purpose. However, in the next moment, he was completely dumbfounded when he heard Bai Li Hong's answer. Not should, but he definitely will. Junior brother will definitely get first place in the hunting assessment this time. This was Bai Li Hong's answer. Bai Li Hong's answer not only stunned Zhonghua, but even the other 2 inner court elders could not help but click their tongues. They thought Bai Li Hong's confidence in Duan Lingtian was a little too blind. However, they had to admit that Duan Lingtian's innate talent was pretty good. However, having good innate talent did not mean that he was powerful. In their opinion, Duan Lingtian's foundation must be unstable since he had broken through to the Saint Rudiment stage from the Perfection Mortal Shedding stage in such a short time. He might not even be as good as most of the inner court disciples who came this time. Naturally, this was also because they did not know about Duan Lingtian's secret. If they knew that Duan Lingtian possessed a heaven-defying celestial supreme treasure like the 7 Treasures Exquisite Pagoda, they would definitely not think this way. While Duan Lingtian entered the lush mountain range and started killing the wild beasts inside, the city governor's estate in the faraway Mount Hill City was in a state of panic. In the sky, Feng Hui, the city governor of Mount Hill City, looked at Su Qi with a complicated expression. However, he did not say anything in the end. In his opinion, Su Qi's choice was not wrong. In this world where the strong were respected, Was it not for the sake of survival that people worked so hard to cultivate? To be honest, he did not blame Su Qi for choosing to become Lu Huan's disciple in order to survive. Su Qi did not do anything wrong because he wanted to survive. However, when he saw the killing intent flashing in Lu Huan's eyes, his heart turned cold. He realized Lu Huan did not come looking for him with good intentions. He even wanted to kill him. He did not find it strange that Lu Huan wanted to kill him. However, Lu Huan brought Su Qi here. This made his heart turn cold. Lu Huan wanted to use Su Qi to flaunt his prowess before killing him, ruthlessly trampling on his dignity in front of his former disciple and then obliterating him. Feng Hui, I really have to thank you for finding me such an outstanding disciple. As expected, Lu Huan looked at Feng Hui and said with a smile, Lu Huan, stop pretending. Didn't you come here today to kill me? Duan Lingtian's existence is like a fishbone stuck in your throat, isn't it? Feng Hui glanced at Lu Huan indifferently and said fearlessly, even if I die today, I have no regrets. Duan Lingtian is destined to be a nightmare for you. Of course, that's if you can live longer. Ha 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 ha. When Feng Hui reached the end of his sentence, he laughed heartily. Feng Hui. Lu Huan's expression was extremely grave as he roared in a deep voice. He did not expect Feng Hui would still dare to provoke him at this moment. Moreover, it was obvious Feng Hui was not afraid of death. Are you trying to provoke me so that you can die a quick death? Lu Huan asked with a cold smile as he regained his senses. Lu Huan, your imagination is still as vivid as before, Feng Hui said indifferently. Feng Hui said calmly. His expression was calm, as if he had already seen through life and death. Humph, I think I guessed right, didn't I? If you want to die a quick death, I won't let you get what you want. Lu Huan sneered. Although you're going to die today, I won't let you die a quick death. I'll let you see with your own eyes how I'm going to rip off every inch of your flesh. When Feng Hui heard Lu Huan's words, he shuddered even though he had already seen through life and death. Lu Huan, my death is just the beginning of your nightmare. Feng Hui was still laughing. He was laughing freely and heartily. It had been so many years, but this was the first time he was so happy when he saw Lu Huan. All these years, he had been living like a walking corpse. Wasn't it all because of the trace of obsession in his heart? Now that his disciple Duan Lingtian had risen to power, Lu Huan felt like a fishbone was stuck in his throat. He suddenly felt that all these years of forbearance and sacrifice were worth it. This was because he had received a huge reward. In his opinion, Duan Lingtian was the best gift that God had given him. With Duan Lingtian around, there was no need for him to worry that no one would avenge him. Although he had only known Duan Lingtian for less than a year, he knew very well what kind of person Duan Lingtian was. If he died, Duan Lingtian would definitely not let Lu Huan go. You're seeking death. Lu Huan was furious. True energy surged from his body, causing his long robe to flutter even though there was no wind. Lu Huan's robe fluttered furiously as he was about to attack Lu Huan. Horror dawned on Lu Huan's face. At the same time, he lifted his hand at lightning speed and slapped the side of his body. Bang! A loud noise resonated in the air as a figure was sent flying by Lu Huan like an arrow that was shot out. The person who was sent flying was none other than Su Qi. To be more precise, it was Su Qi who was sent flying by Lu Huan's palm after he stabbed a needle into Lu Huan's body. Su Qi, seeing Lu Huan's body trembling violently and his face turning green, Feng Hui would have lived his life in vain if he still did not know what had happened. At this moment, realization dawned on him. As it turned out, Su Qi did not betray him. Su Qi's heart was still with him. Su Qi was not afraid of death. He was waiting for the right time to avenge him. The moment Lu Huan thought of this, he no longer hesitated. He flew out and caught Su Qi. Master, if you were a few months later, I'd definitely be able to kill him for you. What a pity, what a pity. Blood spurted from Su Qi's mouth. His face was pale. Rascal, when did you poison me? In the distance, Lu Huan roared as he questioned Su Qi. Chapter 15-16. At this moment, Lu Huan realized Su Qi had been plotting this for a long time. The poison in his body was not formed overnight. Lu Huan, the soup I made tastes pretty good, right? Haha. Cough. Cough. Su Qi, who was caught by Lu Huan, glanced at him coldly before he laughed out loud. His face turned even paler as he coughed a few times and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. At the same time, Su Qi's vitality began to weaken. It was obvious he was on the verge of death. Soup? I see. I see. It seems like you didn't sincerely acknowledge me as your master from the beginning. I've always treated you well, but in the end, you actually wanted to harm me. Rascal. Rascal. Lu Huan finally understood everything. His face that was glowing green was so gloomy that it seemed like water could drip out of it at any time. Sincerely? When Su Qi heard this, he mocked, I, Su Qi, only acknowledge one master in my life. But it's not you, Lu Huan. It's ridiculous that you, Lu Huan, actually thought you could make me submit to you. If it wasn't for the sake of waiting patiently for the right time to avenge my master, why would I pretend to submit to you? Unfortunately, you were so close. If I had a few more months, I'm confident I'll make you die from the poison. When Su Qi reached the end of his sentence, a look of pity could be seen on his face. Lu Huan was a Paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. An ordinary poison would not be able to harm him at all. Due to this reason, he had used a slow-acting poison that he obtained by chance on the mortal continent. Not only was it colorless and tasteless, but it was also undetectable. As for that type of poison, it wasn't usually that toxic. It would only show its powerful toxicity when it was combined with another drug. The needle that he had pierced into Lu Huan's body earlier was stained with the drug that triggered the poison. It had completely activated the poison that had been hidden in Lu Huan's body for a long time, causing him to be poisoned. Master, you must leave now. While Lu Huan is focused on expelling the poison and doesn't dare to move recklessly, you must leave now. Su Qi urged Lu Huan as he looked at him. He knew very well that he was the one who had poisoned Lu Huan. Currently, Lu Huan only had the strength to protect himself. If he moved, the poison in his body would invade his organs. At that time, even a Daluo celestial being would not be able to save him. If Lu Huan wanted to suppress the poison in his body, it would take at least 1 or 2 hours. 1 to 2 hours was enough for his master, Feng Hui, to escape from Lu Huan's pursuit. Su Qi. Tears welled up in Feng Hui's eyes, and his face was filled with emotions. Men don't cry easily, but that's only because they haven't been deeply hurt. When he found out that Su Qi did not really betray him, the disappointment in his heart vanished. All that was left was happiness. He realized that he had not misjudged Su Qi. This disciple, who had been by his side since the beginning, had always regarded him as his only master. Master, leave quickly. However, Su Qi knew that this was not the time to be sentimental, so he hurriedly urged her. Wasn't he poisoned? I'll kill him now. However, Feng Hui had no intention of leaving. A cold gleam flashed in his eyes as he stared at Lu Huan, who was focusing on expelling the poison. Master, it's just that he doesn't dare to move, but he still has the ability to protect himself. Let's go. Let's go. Su Qi continued to urge him. He was so agitated that he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His injuries worsened. Good. I'm leaving. Although Feng Hui was unwilling, he knew that Su Qi would not lie to him. He gritted his teeth and was prepared to leave with Su Qi. However, at this moment, ha 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 ha, a burst of loud laughter suddenly resonated in the air. It was filled with wanton arrogance. Both Feng Hui and Su Qi's expressions changed when they heard the loud laughter. In the distance, Lu Huan, who was standing in the air and laughing loudly, had no trace of green on his face at all. At this moment, Lu Huan stood there in high spirits. He did not look like a person who was poisoned at all. Impossible. Impossible. Upon seeing this, Su Qi's body began to tremble violently. He kept shaking his head. Shock and disbelief were written all over his face. It was apparent that he did not expect this to happen. Nothing is impossible. Lu Huan smirked. I'm a Saint Refinement Master who focuses on refining medicine. Although I've neglected it for many years, I've consumed 1,000 poison beasts' flesh when I was young. Ever since then, Although my body isn't immune to all poisons, it's still extremely resistant to poison. The poison that you used is indeed not bad. It's very subtle as well. Unfortunately, it's not much of a threat to me." Every word that Lu Huan said seemed to have struck Su Qi's soul directly. It caused Su Qi's face to turn even paler. A hint of despair could be seen in his eyes. "Since you're so close to your master, I'll send both of you to hell." Lu Huan's eyes turned cold. His body moved as though it had transformed into a hurricane. In just a blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Feng Hui and Su Qi. "Master, if there's a next life, I'll still be your disciple," Su Qi suddenly shouted. He used the last bit of strength in his body to leave Feng Hui's side and charged toward Lu Huan. He wanted to use the last bit of strength he had to protect his master. He would die without regrets. "You're like a mantis trying to stop a chariot," Lu Huan smirked. With a lift of his hand, a vast and rolling energy exploded Su Qi into a bloody mist in just a blink of an eye. Apart from not being able to touch Lu Huan, the bloody mist splattered all over Feng Hui's face. Feng Hui's heart turned as cold as ice when he sensed the bloody stench that was coming toward him. His soul began to tremble violently at this moment. Su Qi, Lu Huan, die," Feng Hui suddenly shouted. The true energy in his qi surged out without any reservation. It was as though he was going to fight Lu Huan to the death. However, the gigantic saber that was consolidated by Lu Huan's true energy consolidated weapon easily broke Feng Hui's ferocious attack. "Feng Hui, perhaps you could be compared to me when you were young. However, you're no different from an ant in my eyes now." Lu Huan stared at Feng Hui coldly and said condescendingly, "That's right. My ability can't be compared to yours. However, your disciple can't be compared to the disciple that I've taken in." Feng Hui smiled again when he was on the brink of death. A figure flashed in his mind. It was a young man who always wore purple. He was also his hope, Duan Lingtian. "Feng Hui, I've told you before that I won't let you die a quick death. I'll torture you until you're left with your last breath." Upon hearing Feng Hui's words, Lu Huan's eyes turned even colder. He took one step at a time and faced Feng Hui like a hunter hunting his prey. Every step he took seemed to have transformed into a gigantic hammer that slammed heavily on Feng Hui's chest. Without warning, Lu Huan lifted his hand and grabbed Feng Hui at lightning speed. At this critical moment, a swift swordlight suddenly pierced through the air and passed between Lu Huan and Feng Hui. It shocked Lu Huan so much that he retracted his hand. "Who's that?" Horror dawned on Lu Huan's face when he realized the threat of the sword ray. "Haha, Elder Lu Huan, it seems like we haven't seen each other for a few years, right?" At this moment, a loud laugh was heard. Along with it, a strong figure appeared. It was a middle-aged man with a strong build. The middle-aged man's gray robe fluttered in the wind. He was holding a sword in his hand. "You're Wang Tao?" Lu Huan asked in a deep voice as he studied the middle-aged man in front of him with a frown. "It seems like you still recognize me, Elder Lu Huan." Wang Tao smiled. "Humph. Wang Tao, I can't believe that you've also broken through to the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage after so many years. However, do you think you can stop me?" Lu Huan snorted coldly and said disdainfully. Lu Huan had some impression of the person before him. He was an inner court deacon in the Moon Illumination sect. However, it did not cross his mind that he would meet this person again here. Since Wang Tao was able to pass through his territory that covered an area of 100 meters without him noticing, one could easily imagine his cultivation base. He must have entered the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. Even so, he was not afraid of Wang Tao. A martial cultivator who had just broken through to the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage was nothing to him. "I'll have to try to find out if I can stop you, Elder Lu Huan." Wang Tao smiled faintly with a carefree expression. It was as if he did not take Lu Huan seriously at all. "Deacon Wang?" Feng Hui finally regained his senses. He stared at the muscular figure in front of him in a daze. It did not cross his mind that this person would appear at this moment. Moreover, it was obvious that he was here to protect him. Wang Tao was the youngest inner court deacon in the history of the Moon Illumination sect. Apart from that, he was also a sword cultivator. However, due to his reclusive nature, he did not have much of a reputation. Based on Lu Huan's words, this Deacon Wang seemed to be a paramount Saint Rudiment stage powerhouse. Good. Very good. Upon hearing Wang Tao's words, Lu Huan was so angry that he laughed. Wang Tao, I really want to know why you're protecting him. As far as I know, you don't seem to be friends with him, right? Elder Lu Huan, you don't have to test me. I'm only protecting him because someone asked me to. Wang Tao said nonchalantly. The person who asked you to protect him, is that person Elder Bai Li? The moment Lu Huan thought of this, horror dawned on his face. A hint of dread could be seen in his eyes. However, Wang Tao did not answer him. All he did was stare at him quietly. At this moment, Lu Huan was almost certain. Humph. Lu Huan's expression changed for a while. In the end, he clenched his teeth and chose to leave. However, before he left, he did not forget to leave behind some ruthless words. Wang Tao, the grudge between you and me has been formed. He had thought it through carefully before he decided to leave. Initially, he did not dare to make a big fuss about killing Feng Hui. For this reason, he had even used his true energy consolidated territory to cover an area of 100 meters to conceal himself so that nobody would notice him. This was because he knew if people saw that he was the one who killed Feng Hui, he would definitely enrage Elder Bai Li. Perhaps, Elder Bai Li would not care about Feng Hui's life or death. However, he would care about Duan Lingtian's emotions. However, he was not afraid as long as nobody knew he was the one who killed Feng Hui. Chapter 15-17. However, Wang Tao's appearance forced him to give up. It was obvious Wang Tao was sent by Bai Li Hong to protect Feng Hui, the city governor of Mount Hill City. Although he was confident he could defeat Wang Tao, he did not have the confidence to kill him. After all, they were both at the paramount Saint Rudiment stage. Unless the disparity in their strength was too great, nobody would dare to say they could kill each other. Moreover, even if he was confident he could kill Wang Tao, Bai Li Hong would definitely suspect him when he returned and learned about Wang Tao's death. There were not many people in the Moon Illumination sect surrounding area who could kill Wang Tao. It was not difficult for him to suspect him. Killing Wang Tao was completely different from killing Feng Hui. Anyone above the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage would be able to kill Feng Hui. Thank you, Deacon Wang. Feng Hui sighed in relief when he saw Lu Huan leaving just like that. He quickly thanked Wang Tao. You don't have to thank me. I was just asked to do this. Wang Tao replied nonchalantly and left as soon as his words left his mouth. Naturally, he did not really leave. Instead, he hid at the side and secretly protected Feng Hui. On the other hand, the more Lu Huan thought about it after he left, the angrier he became. Damn it! Bai Li Hong, that old man, is such a busybody. At this moment, a sense of helplessness rose in Lu Huan's heart. It was as though Bai Li Hong had predicted every move he made. It made him feel extremely aggrieved. I hope the people from Mountain Shade Black Market can seize this opportunity to kill Duan Lingtian in one fell swoop during the hunting assessment. Once Duan Lingtian is dead, Bai Li Hong won't be able to target me anymore. Lu Huan thought to himself. Moreover, from today onward, any disciple Lu Huan, except must swear on the lightning penalty oath that they'll never betray me. If they don't swear, I won't accept them no matter how high their innate talent is. Lu Huan was annoyed when he recalled Su Qi, whom he had just killed, and Zhou Qi, whom he had killed earlier. He really felt like he was the unluckiest person in his 8 lifetimes. The 2 direct disciples he had accepted consecutively had betrayed him in the end. Due to this reason, he made up his mind. Whoever wanted to acknowledge him as their master would have to swear on the lightning penalty oath first. When Lu Huan returned to the Moon Illumination sect gloomily, Duan Lingtian had also killed many wild beasts in the mountainous forest. Even though he had killed quite a number of savage beasts, his robes were still bright and clean. It was as if killing the savage beasts was nothing to him. Actually, it wasn't that difficult. Putting aside the fact that he could defeat opponents with a higher cultivation base than him, just based on his current cultivation base at the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage, it was almost impossible to find a wild beast that was a match for him in this mountain forest. Even if there are Mastery Saint Realm wild beasts here, I'm afraid there aren't many of them, Duan Lingtian thought to himself. Along the way, he had only killed a few dozen intermediate Saint Rudiment stage wild beasts. Most of them were early Saint Realm wild beasts, several hundred of them. Perhaps it had heard Duan Lingtian's thoughts, but as he continued to walk forward, a deafening beast roar sounded. It was like a clap of thunder, as if it wanted to tear apart Duan Lingtian's eardrums. Is this a Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast? When Duan Lingtian heard the beast's roar that sounded like a sonic attack, he was shocked. Soon after, he saw a gigantic beast the size of a small hill charging toward him. Wherever it passed, the ground would tremble as though the earth was quaking and the mountains were shaking. Wherever the gigantic beast passed, the trees would collapse one after another. Huge footprints would appear on the ground one after another. Each of the footprints was like a huge pit. Good timing. In the face of the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast that was charging at him menacingly, not only was Duan Lingtian not afraid, but he even went up to it. At this moment, a gush of vast true energy surged out of Duan Lingtian's body and transformed into a gigantic hammer in the air in just a blink of an eye. It fell like a meteor and slammed hard on the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast in front of him. It was a wild beast that looked very similar to a gorilla. Roar. In the face of Duan Lingtian's true energy consolidated weapon technique, the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast opened its bloody mouth and roared loudly. The terrifying sound wave formed a sound wave attack in an instant, causing clear ripples to appear in the air. As the sound wave rolled out, the gigantic hammer that Duan Lingtian had condensed with his true energy consolidated weapon technique seemed to have hit a cotton ball. It advanced rapidly before it was squeezed out. In the end, it was even defeated. What a powerful sonic attack! Upon seeing this scene, Duan Lingtian was shocked. He did not expect his true energy consolidated weapon technique would be defeated by the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast's roar. In fact, the gigantic hammer that he had condensed with his true energy consolidated weapon technique was able to kill an intermediate Saint Rudiment stage wild beast with a single strike. Good. I didn't expect you to be so strong. Since that's the case, I'll play with you. Facing the powerful strength displayed by the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast, Duan Lingtian was not afraid. Instead, his eyes lit up as he raised his hand and took out a heavy sword. It was none other than the 1,000-catty heavy sword. Roar. At the same time, the wild beast roared again as it lifted its boulder-like fists and smashed them toward Duan Lingtian. A deafening sound of wind and thunder resounded in the air as it passed by. Good. Facing the pair of giant cannonball-like iron fists of the wild beast, Duan Lingtian laughed and swung the 1,000-catty heavy sword in his hand to meet the wild beast head-on. It was as if one man could hold the pass against 10,000. Heavy as Mount Tai. Duan Lingtian seemed to be particularly excited as he shouted the name of his next move. The 1,000-catty heavy sword in his hand slammed down like a collapsing mountain towards the pair of iron fists of the wild beast. Pong, pong. Accompanied by two deafening noises, Duan Lingtian's 1,000-catty heavy sword collided with the pair of iron fists of the wild beast. True chi collided, causing waves of chi waves to appear in the air as they continuously pressed against each other. The waves of air surged and set off a series of thunderous explosions. Gusts of raging wind swept out and blew gravel and trees in the surrounding area. It was as if a strong typhoon had set off. Roar. The wild beast roared and took a step back. When it looked at Duan Lingtian again, its eyes that were as big as a gong were not only red, but there was also a hint of fear in them. Although the wild beast did not have the intelligence of a saint beast, it had its own survival instinct to survive in a harsh environment. Duan Lingtian blocked its fists with his sword. At this moment, it regarded Duan Lingtian as a strong enemy. Just when Duan Lingtian saw the fear in the wild beast's eyes and thought it would retreat in the face of difficulties, a shocking scene appeared. Dong, dong, dong. Along with the sound of drums, the savage beast was beating its own chest with its fists. Its crazy appearance was exactly the same as that of a gorilla. There was no difference at all. If there was a difference, it would be the size of the wild beast. It was several times bigger than a gorilla. Has it gone mad? Just when Duan Lingtian thought the wild beast in front of him had gone mad, a shocking scene appeared. As the wild beast kept hitting its chest with its fists, a blood-red mist appeared from its heart. It spread all over its body and merged with every pore on its body. The blood-red mist continued to grow. In the end, the wild beast's body seemed to be covered by a layer of blood-red energy. On top of the blood-red energy, one could vaguely see a blood-red lightning flashing. What's this? Duan Lingtian was completely shocked by the scene in front of him. What was going on? Could it be berserk? In the blink of an eye, a thought suddenly appeared in Duan Lingtian's mind. The reason why such a thought popped up in his mind was because he recalled the berserk mongrel rodent clan. They were a clan that was good at berserk. Once they went berserk, their strength would increase tremendously. It was extremely terrifying. Roar! The wild beast that was shrouded in blood-red energy seemed to have transformed into an invincible god of war at this moment. It roared at Duan Lingtian. The sound waves rolled in the air and continued to compress and explode, creating a thunderous sound. It's really become stronger. Even Duan Lingtian felt a little uncomfortable with the sound waves. It was obviously on a different level from the previous sound waves. After taking a deep breath, Duan Lingtian did not dare to hesitate. He infused his true energy into the Thousand Kadi sword in his hand and activated the two-star Saint inscription, the Thousand Kadi Saint inscription. When the wild beast swung its fists at him again, he met it head-on. Heavy as Mount Tai. It was the same sword, but due to the power of the Thousand Kadi Saint inscription, it became even more terrifying. However, this terrifying sword was actually repelled by the wild beast's iron fists. Not only that, but it also caused Duan Lingtian's hand to go numb. A faint trace of blood could be seen on his hand. Although he did not bleed, it was enough to shock Duan Lingtian. His body was different from an ordinary human's body. Even the five-clawed divine dragons who were at the same level as him among the dragons in the Dao Martial Saint Land could not compare to him in terms of body strength. Even so, the web between his thumb and index finger was still slightly cracked from the impact. Roar! Duan Lingtian's sword was repelled, and the wild beast's iron fists also changed its direction and landed on empty air. However, it quickly regained its senses and swung its iron fists at Duan Lingtian again. It was as though it would not stop until it killed Duan Lingtian. I'm not going to play with you anymore. With a raised brow, Duan Lingtian's true energy swept out from his qi and flowed into his hands through his 99 saint veins. At the same time, he casually put away the Thousand Kadi sword and clenched his fists. He was actually going to meet the wild beast's fists head-on. If someone was here, they would definitely think Duan Lingtian was overestimating himself. Even his sword was defeated by the wild beast after it had gone berserk. He actually dared to fight the wild beast with his bare hands. He was simply seeking death. However, what they did not know was that Duan Lingtian had also used his brute strength in this punch. Chapter 15:18. Bang! A loud bang reverberated in the air. It shook the air so much that it seemed to distort slightly. Ripples that could be seen clearly spread out. Bang! Another loud bang reverberated in the air. Even the birds that were hundreds of meters away were frightened and fled in all directions. At the same time, two clouds of blood mist exploded in the air. It was as though a small blood rain was falling. It was the wild beast that had gone berserk. Its iron fists were smashed by Duan Lingtian's fists. Roar! The wild beast shrieked in agony when its iron fists were gone. Its survival instinct urged it to turn around and flee immediately. At this moment, in its eyes, Duan Lingtian, this little thing, was no different from a devil. Right now, it only wanted to get as far away from Duan Lingtian as possible. This feeling of fighting fire with fire is really good. It feels so good. Duan Lingtian grinned and laughed heartily as he looked at his fists that seemed to be wearing a pair of golden gloves at some unknown time. Earlier, when his fists were about to collide with the wild beast's iron fists, he had cast the golden shirt that he had cultivated to the highest stage, the impeccable stage, in time to strengthen his physical strength again. It was precisely because of this that he could easily smash the pair of iron fists of the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast that had gone berserk. In this hunting assessment, the points of a Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast will definitely be more than the points of an intermediate Saint Rudiment stage wild beast. Duan Lingtian did not doubt this at all. With a raise of his hand, Duan Lingtian took out the sun-shooting bow at lightning speed. He raised his hand and shot an arrow out. The true energy arrow that contained the penetration saint inscription easily pierced through the wild beast that was only focused on fleeing and killed it. To him, the wild beast was the equivalent of points. Boom! The wild beast's huge body crashed to the ground. Duan Lingtian chased after it in time and left his name on the wild beast's body. This meant he was the one who killed the wild beast. As long as he left his mark, he did not have to worry about a second person leaving his name behind to claim it. This was because the traces left behind one after the other could be seen from the degree of drying of the bloodstains. While Duan Lingtian was leaving his name on the body of the savage beast, he did not know that a black figure was hiding in the leaves of a large tree not far away. His body seems to be. The figure was curvaceous, and it was obvious that it was a woman. Moreover, it was a woman with a great figure. Now, the woman's exposed pair of autumn eyes flickered with excitement. Found it! I finally found it! Not only was her gaze excited, but her heart was also very excited, as if Duan Lingtian was her old acquaintance and lover. He's Duan Lingtian? Soon, the woman with a hot figure, who was covered in black clothes and only revealed a pair of exposed autumn eyes, came back to her senses and murmured. A harmless-looking purple sparrow was perched on her shoulder. Although the purple sparrow seemed to be very quiet, the gleam in its eyes as it stared at Duan Lingtian showed that it was not calm at all. This woman was none other than the Mountain Shade Black Market's quasi-4-star assassin, Chi Mei. He must know her. He must know her. Moreover, their relationship is not ordinary. Otherwise, her aura wouldn't be so strong on him. Chi Mei had just calmed down when she sensed the barely detectable aura on Duan Lingtian's body. She said with certainty. At the same time, she moved and hovered in the air in front of Duan Lingtian. She looked at Duan Lingtian calmly, as though she was trying to see if there was anything special about Duan Lingtian. Who are you? Naturally, it was impossible for Duan Lingtian to not notice such a big living person. He reacted immediately, and his expression changed. Mountain Shade Black Market, Chi Mei. Chi Mei hovered in the air and replied nonchalantly. If the other assassins from the Mountain Shade Black Market heard Chi Mei's words, they would definitely be shocked. This was because as far as they knew, Chi Mei would not speak nonsense when she made a move, let alone reveal her identity. In fact, almost all of the Mountain Shade Black Market's assassins had sworn on the lightning penalty oath, so it was almost impossible for them to reveal their identities. If the other assassins from the Mountain Shade Black Market saw that Chi Mei was not killed by the lightning penalty of the 9-9 Heavenly Tribulation after revealing her identity, they would be even more shocked. This was because this meant that Chi Mei did not swear on the oath at all. Without the oath, she was not considered a real assassin of the Mountain Shade Black Market. However, Chi Mei was indeed an assassin of the Mountain Shade Black Market. In this case, there was only one possibility. Someone had used his authority to make Chi Mei an assassin of the Mountain Shade Black Market without her swearing on the lightning penalty oath. Such a person would usually be a person who held great authority in the Mountain Shade Black Market. In the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch in the 9-Sect Alliances district, only the leader of the Mountain Shade Black Market's branch could use his authority to do such a thing. Mountain Shade Black Market? Upon hearing the pleasant female voice, Duan Lingtian's expression changed slightly. However, he was not surprised by the fact that the other party was a woman. Based on the black-clad person's graceful figure, it was not difficult to tell that she was a woman with a hot body. When he first saw this woman, he even had the urge to remove the veil on her face. It was not that he was a pervert, but it was his first reaction as a man. The woman's figure was too perfect. It was so perfect that it could move anyone. She was not inferior to his two fiancées at all. However, when the woman revealed her identity, Duan Lingtian's expression changed again. The Mountain Shade Black Market had actually sent someone again. Before this, He had learned from his senior brother, Bai Li Hong, that once the Mountain Shade Black Market's assassin failed, the mission would either be cancelled or they would send a more powerful assassin to continue the mission. In other words, the assassin in front of him was even more powerful than the black-robed man from before. That black-robed man was one of the best among those at the Paramount Saint Rudiment stage. If the other party was not a devil cultivator, it would be impossible for him to kill him. However, the woman in front of him was even more powerful than that person. At this moment, he could not help but feel a sense of helplessness. Although his strength had increased tremendously and his cultivation base had entered the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage, he could only defeat opponents who were at a higher level than him even if he used all of his techniques. He could only fight with ordinary Paramount Saint Rudiment stage martial and Dao cultivators. If he encountered someone whose strength was comparable to the black-robed man and was not a devil cultivator, he would definitely not be a match for him. However, the woman in front of him with a hot body and a young voice was obviously more powerful than the black-robed man. How could he be a match for her? I can only hope that she's a devil cultivator as well. Duan Lingtian prayed silently in his heart. This was the only way he could escape this calamity. At the same time, he took out a jade token and crushed it. This jade token was given to him by Zhonghua, the vice sect leader of Moon Illumination sect. He could crush it when he was in danger as a warning. The moment Duan Lingtian crushed the jade token, a streak of light shot up into the sky. However, it was destroyed by an invisible force before it could even reach the sky above the forest. It did not serve as a warning at all. Swoosh! Upon seeing this, horror dawned on Duan Lingtian's face. He stared at the black-clad woman in front of him in shock and asked, "Why, you're a Saint Stage powerhouse?" He had heard from his senior brother, Bai Li Hong, that even an eminent Saint Stage powerhouse would not be able to block the warning from the jade token in his hand. "If I'm not a Saint Stage powerhouse, do you think I'll be able to block the warning from your jade token that's inscribed with a 3-star saint inscription?" The woman spoke again. Her pleasant voice entered Duan Lingtian's ears, but it was like a death sentence. She doesn't seem to be a devil cultivator. Although Duan Lingtian did not know how the woman in front of him made her move earlier, he was certain she must have made a move. Even if she did not make a move herself, she must have used her territory. However, even then, the Devil Seal tablet in his spatial ring did not react at all. Since the Devil Seal tablet did not react, it meant the other party was not a devil cultivator, and he could not use the Devil Seal tablet to deal with her. She's not a devil cultivator. She's not a devil cultivator. What should I do now? At this moment, Duan Lingtian was burning with anxiety. How was he going to fight against a Saint Stage powerhouse who was not a devil cultivator? Although he was burning with anxiety, he was not someone who would sit there and wait for death. He raised his hand and grabbed the sun's shooting bow tightly, ready to make a move at any moment. Huh! At this moment, Qimei exclaimed softly as she stared at Duan Lingtian's hand. "Your bow doesn't seem to be an ordinary saint weapon." As Qimei raised her hand, Duan Lingtian felt his entire body being bound by an invisible force, causing him to be unable to move at all. He could only watch as the sun-shooting bow was taken away and fell into Qimei's hands. "This material." Qimei's eyes lit up as she looked at Duan Lingtian and asked, "Where did you get this bow from?" "I picked it up." When Duan Lingtian realized that his life was in the hands of this black-clad lady, he could not break free from the invisible force that was binding him even though he had exerted all his strength. When he heard her question, he immediately replied in a huff. At this moment, he also realized that something was amiss. If the other party was really an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market, by right, she would not have wasted so much time talking to him. Moreover, she did not reveal any killing intent from the beginning until the end. However, Duan Lingtian did not know that he was not the only one who was puzzled. Even if the leader of the Mountain Shade Black Markets branch in the 9 sect alliances was here, he would also be dumbfounded if he saw Qimei like this. This was because the Qimei he knew was completely different from the person he knew. "What? Do you think I'll covet your things?" Qimei smiled lightly. With a lift of her hand, not only did she untie the binding on Duan Lingtian, but she also returned the sun-shooting bow to him. This made Duan Lingtian a little puzzled. "Since you're an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market, shouldn't you be here to kill me?" I'm here to kill you. Chimei nodded. Chapter 1519. Of course, it's easy to kill you, but I'm very interested in you now. Don't worry, after today, the Mountain Shade Black Market will cancel the mission to kill you. Upon hearing Duan Lingtian's words, Chi Mei's unhurried reply made Duan Lingtian a little puzzled. Don't tell me I'm so charming that this woman has taken a fancy to me? When Duan Lingtian thought of this, he felt a chill run down his spine. Although the woman in front of him had a great figure, who knew what her face looked like under the cover? Perhaps she was an ugly freak? However, in the next moment, Duan Lingtian was stunned. This was because Chi Mei had removed the cover on her face without any warning, revealing her true appearance. Her shoulder-length black hair cascaded down like a waterfall. Her pair of autumn eyes were like the two brightest stars in the night sky. Her jade-like nose was slightly straight. Her small lips were rosy, and her perfect lines outlined a peerless face that was capable of causing the downfall of nations. On this beautiful face that seemed to have been carefully sculpted, there was not a single flaw to be found. Everything was so perfect. However, when Duan Lingtian saw Chi Mei's peerless face, it was as though he had seen a ghost. He stood rooted to the ground and was dumbstruck. You. When Chi Mei saw the shock on Duan Lingtian's face, a hint of realization flashed in the depths of her eyes. It seemed like everything was as she had guessed. He was indeed related to the person she had been looking for. Moreover, their relationship was not shallow. Otherwise, it was impossible for his body to have such a strong aura that belonged to that person. At this moment, nobody could understand Duan Lingtian's feelings. Duan Lingtian's emotions were surging, and he could not calm down for a long time. As he looked at Chi Mei, his eyes flashed with bewilderment, reminiscence, and gentleness. His gaze became more and more complicated. The reason why Duan Lingtian felt this way was because Chi Mei's face was not unfamiliar to him. Of course, although the face in his memory was almost exactly the same as the face in front of him, it had a bit more of a pretty girl from a humble family. That's right. The Chi Mei standing before Duan Lingtian now had a devastatingly beautiful face that was identical to Duan Lingtian's fiancée, Kerr. No matter which part of the face it was exactly the same. There was no difference. However, although they looked exactly the same, Duan Lingtian had never thought that she was Kerr. Chi Mei's temperament was completely different from Kerr's. Kerr's temperament was as gentle as jade, but this Chi Mei's temperament faintly revealed a trace of coldness, exuding an aura that repelled people thousands of miles away. At this moment, Duan Lingtian wondered if Kerr and the person in front of him were twins. But in an instant, he suppressed this thought. This was because it was almost impossible. Chi Mei was an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market in the Dao Martial Saintland. She was a saint stage powerhouse. Kerr, on the other hand, was born in a remote place on the mortal continent. She had walked out of Fresh Breeze Town with him. It was impossible for her to be related to Chi Mei. Moreover, when he first met Kerr, Kerr was planning to sell herself to bury her mother. He had never heard Kerr mention that her mother was not her biological mother. Tell me, what do you want? Duan Lingtian suppressed the thousands of questions in his heart and asked in a deep voice. Chi Mei was an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market, but based on her words, not only did she not want to kill him, but she even wanted the Mountain Shade Black Market to cancel the mission to kill him. This made him vaguely feel that something was not right. Logically speaking, he had nothing to do with her, so there was no need for her to do this. There must be something fishy about this. Duan Lingtian had always believed this. What? You're a big man, and you're afraid of a little girl like me? Chi Mei asked with a faint smile as the corner of her lips curled up into a perfect arc. Chi Mei's peerless beauty, coupled with her devilish talent, was enough to arouse the desire in the depths of any man's heart. However, Duan Lingtian did not have any desire at this moment. Instead, he was on guard. I believe you won't dismiss the idea of killing me for no reason, and you even want the Mountain Shade Black Market to cancel the mission to kill me? Duan Lingtian said. For no reason? Of course, there's no reason. Chi Mei said indifferently, before I met you, I, Chi Mei, have never let anyone live when I make a move. You're the first. Should I feel honored then? Duan Lingtian smiled self-mockingly and asked, "Tell me, what's the reason? Not only did you not make a move on me, but you even want to help me." Reason? What if I say it's because I find you pleasing to the eye? Chimei smiled. Chimei's words caused Duan Lingtian to feel a chill run down his spine. Who knew if this woman who did not look older than him was an old witch who had lived for a few hundred years? Perhaps, in terms of seniority, she was old enough to be his grandmother's grandmother. Fortunately, Chimei did not know what Duan Lingtian was thinking. Otherwise, she would have slapped him to death. "I believe we'll meet again in the future." Chimei took a deep look at Duan Lingtian. Before Duan Lingtian could return to his senses, Chimei had already left. She had completely disappeared before his eyes without a trace. Who is she? Great confusion arose in Duan Lingtian's heart. An assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market who looks exactly like Kerr. She was originally here to kill me, but she changed her mind at the last minute and wants to help me cancel the mission. Duan Lingtian's thoughts gradually became clearer at this moment. Naturally, he would not be so arrogant to think that she did not kill him because she found him pleasing to the eye. As an assassin from the Mountain Shade Black Market, she was a cold-blooded person. It was impossible for her to stop because of such a ridiculous reason. No matter how I think about it, there's only one reason. It's because of Kerr. However, even if she's really related to Kerr, how would she know about the relationship between Kerr and me? Don't tell me she's been hiding in the dark all this time when Kerr and I were together? If she's been hiding in the dark all this time, she should be protecting Kerr. Why would she follow me? Moreover, even if she's following me, there's no need for her to expose herself in front of me, right? Duan Lingtian could not figure it out no matter how he thought about it. I guess I'll have to ask Kerr when I return. However, Kerr has already told me about her in the past. She didn't mention that she has a relative in this world. Since he could not figure it out, Duan Lingtian no longer thought about it. His mind returned to the hunting trial. As time went by, the hunting trial finally came to an end. Naturally, Duan Lingtian was ranked first in the results. How can Duan Lingtian have so many points? It's 10 times more than the person in second place. Even if he killed all the wild beasts he encountered, it's impossible for him to have so many points, right? The group of inner court disciples did not object to Duan Lingtian being ranked first in the hunting trial. They had long heard about how monstrous Duan Lingtian was. However, Duan Lingtian's results made all of them suspicious. All of them felt that there was an element of cheating. Duan Lingtian remained calm in the face of the group of inner court disciples' doubts. He was not bothered by it at all. Duan Lingtian's points are so high because he killed the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast, the Berserk giant ape. At this moment, an inner court elder who had been looking at Duan Lingtian with a complicated gaze could not help but speak up when he heard the group of inner court disciples whispering among themselves. As soon as he spoke, another inner court elder smiled wryly. It was obvious he knew this as well. Bai Li Hong's face was calm. He did not seem surprised at all. Zhonghua, the vice sect leader of Moon Illumination sect, looked at Duan Lingtian with a complicated gaze. His expression kept changing. No one knew what he was thinking about. Berserk giant ape? When the inner court elder spoke, the group of inner court disciples were completely stunned. They were no strangers to the Berserk giant ape. It was a famous existence among the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beasts. Once it went berserk, its strength would far surpass wild beasts of the same level. It was known as the Slaughterer among the Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beasts. However, such a wild beast was killed by Duan Lingtian? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, the group of inner court disciples shifted their gazes to Duan Lingtian in unison. Their gazes were filled with shock, disbelief, doubt, and surprise. No matter what, Duan Lingtian had become the center of attention at this moment. Since the Berserk giant ape was killed after it went berserk, the points awarded for killing it will be doubled. That's why Duan Lingtian's result is so different from all of you. I'm sure all of you know that the points awarded for killing a Mastery Saint Rudiment stage wild beast will be doubled. Another inner court elder said. At this moment, the group of inner court disciples no longer said anything even though they had mixed feelings. Just like that, the Moon Illumination sect's annual hunting assessment ended. Duan Lingtian had also obtained the honor of being the first to enter the sect's storehouse. Although most of the items in the sect's storehouse were covered in dust, making it difficult for ordinary people to identify them, one had to admit that there were many treasures in there. Naturally, most of them were just scrap metal. However, even so, Duan Lingtian was still looking forward to the sect's storehouse. He had a feeling that he would be able to find something good in there. On the way back to the Moon Illumination sect, the group of inner court disciples looked at Duan Lingtian with mixed feelings. Every one of them had entered the Moon Illumination sect 5 years ago. However, none of them could compare to Duan Lingtian, who had just entered the sect this year. This made them feel a little uncomfortable. "Uncle, I hope you'll really give up on the idea of going against him. Otherwise, you'll really be cutting off your own path of retreat." He Zhong was also looking at Duan Lingtian. His gaze was even more complicated than the other inner court disciples. One could say that he had watched Duan Lingtian grow up step by step. The speed of his growth was so fast that he could only look at him in the dust. The 4 Moon Illumination sect's high-ranking officials, including Bai Li Hong and Zhong Hua, did not notice him at all. Not far behind them, a black figure was following them at a speed that was neither fast nor slow. It was a graceful lady. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.